It's the Hoosier Sophisticate Show. Question all the things that you know. Steve likes the weed.
Steve likes the weed.
Talk about DMT.
The DMT.
Hoosier Sophisticate Show. The Hoosier Sophisticate Show. Hoosiers with the dream, sophisticated blasphemy. It's the Hoosier Sophisticate Show. Question all the things that you know. So let's set our minds free for the singularity. It's the Hoosier Sophisticate Show. The Hoosier Sophisticate Show.
When it rains, do we get mad? Do we give up? When our place floods, do we sit in despair? No, we build a fucking boat. When there's a fire, closest to one of the biggest jewels of South St. Louis, it lights our heart. The cuck for the cup. He's coming for you. It's mind, it's body, it's strength. The fuck am I talking about? It's a fucking goofy asshole on fucking rollerblades. Enjoy, man. I don't know.
Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, non-binary, sentient, plant, fungi, and artificial intelligence to the Hoosier Sophisticate Show.
We did it.
We did it. Sorry about the description, bud.
Craig. I put Craig in charge of the restream, and you guys see what happens.
You see what happens.
Craig did a lot. He got a lot of this show prepared, but guess what? It's always something.
It's always something, brother.
We're a two-man operation minus Mike here tonight. Mike's a linchpin of this organization.
Indeed.
Maybe I'm going overboard a bit, but he did ride a bicycle.
Buddy.
No questions asked.
No
for
complaints.
14 miles, kept his mouth shut the whole time. Didn't complain about his gooch once. I didn't have to hear about this guy's perineum one time.
Yeah. No, the perineum was blown way down Broadway, way before you get to the Spanish Society. Perineum was blown way out before then.
Yeah, bud. Well, I can't tell you how I feel because I don't really know how I feel. You know, when you exert a lot of calories, I guess, a lot of energy. You know me, I could pack up the blades. And I think a lot of people think that it's pretty tough to rollerblade 14. For me, I'm like, it's not that difficult, just how I'm built and how it was. But if you guys are, just tuning into the show, we've done this thing. Should I give them a little background, a little elevator pitch on what
Let's
we've
tell
been doing?
them. Yeah, tell them the history of the cuck for the cup / blade down Broadway.
Sure. For all of our, some of these people might have heard this before, but all of our new listeners, which we've had a huge influx. Thank you so much. Thank you to Missouri Cannabis Network. We are going to get to some cannabis news and big psychedelic news, which we've kind of already been like, yeah, I think so. But cannabis news, Greenway Evolution Magazine, we're featured in Evolution Magazine.
We are.
That's not a bad deal. But anyway,
I don't know if we're featured as much as we're like
we're
a
featured.
back
It's a
page
feature.
ad.
Yeah, that's even better. Yeah. So a few years ago, probably four years ago, the Blues were in desperate need of just someone to fire up the city. I thought I broke my arm playing kickball like a jackass. I was going to bump this ball to the girl playing left center, and I was playing left field. I was going to bump volleyball, bump
serve
it to
it,
her.
yeah. Or
And
set it up,
I punched the ground and broke my right arm. Just fork fractured it. Everyone's like, funny Steve, guys. And I was like, look at this thing. And it was like,
hanging.
joink. And I was like, yeah. And everyone's like, oh my God. And I was like, well, I had a compound fracture before the arm. So when I broke this, I was like, man, at least the bone's still in there. Okay,
Sure.
cool. Anywho, that was an opportunity for me to kind of follow my dreams. I like doing weird stuff like that. So I went outside of this radio station, had a sign and glitter. It said, let's go Blues. I just was trying to fire people up where our old stadium was, our old arena.
Yeah.
It just so happened that's where that radio station was.
Pretty close. Yeah, right down the street.
Yeah, 590 TMA. We used to be on there on the station, on that show. So anyway, people are honking, and it's kind of...
It was 9:20 at the time. Because it was
Yes,
where
you're
our
right.
studios were.
You
Yeah.
are absolutely right.
Yeah.
And we did a little stint there. So it was a lot of history at that place. So went outside the window, called in, some guy was like, oh, what do you know? You can get picked up for prostitution out here? And I'm like, I didn't know. And he's like, yeah, that can happen to you.
You can for the right amount of money.
And I was like, what's going on here? So the Blues ended up winning. So then it caught fire because you know how fans are. They're like, oh, yeah, that must have been the totem that we won. Do it again. I was running at this time, and I didn't even start in shorts. I just had a little half shirt, and then it kept evolving until someone donated $10 for every mile I ran. And I was like, oh, God, this can be a charitable thing. So then we did the Hamilton family. We did... I believe we raised money for little Charlie, Nina Lasky's grandson.
That was the one I was in on. Yep.
Yeah, and then we had we picked a cause, rallied around it, just went through the town on whether it be rollerblades, a bicycle, running, jogging, whatever we did, and tried to make a storyline of it during the day. So that's what got us to here. There's no Blues hockey right now. We were looking for kind of something to rally around. And Aubrey Strong and the Matthews family have changed my life, and we wanted to get a big swing set for them in their backyard because COVID and just having a compromised immune system, just kids.
It was just a big swing set, man.
Nice. You like that? I like that too. So doing that and being able to help that family, it feeds our soul. Allows us to be able to do things like this. Sit around here and kind of bullshit with our friends out there.
Love it, yeah.
And I can't thank you guys enough because I feel like I am walking on sunshine the last couple of days. I woke up just smile. I was like, just woke up like this, like, just felt good.
Yeah.
Like I was, it's the most selfish thing we could do is go help these people. So we're looking for people to help us build it. Actually, I sent an email to one place and he's like, we give a lot to charity. We appreciate you, but no thank you.
I ain't having it.
So that kind of Jenny and Craig were hot. Like,
it's not that I'm hot. It's just like that's just a horrible way to play that hand. It's like somebody that's holding aces, flops a set. They're playing against someone that's drawn out, and they're just gonna fucking fold it. Like, buddy, people haven't been working for 2 fucking months.
That's what I thought. I thought they'd jump at it.
People are jumping for business right now, especially something that they can also. Oh, by the way, this is free marketing for my business.
Sure.
Come on.
And I called a different one today, I think in Valley Park or maybe a little bit south of there. And they said, well, I don't know what we can do, but we can definitely give you a discount. Like immediately, if I put myself in
I'm going to work with you.
I'm going to figure something out. Yeah, we allocated our 2020 budget. Thank you. I appreciate you. But already,
I gave you the response to say to the guy.
Craig is this is why I chose him as my dude right here. He gives me this response. It's like, thank you. Like, from the bottom of our heart, thank you for even taking the time to respond to us. But you're a piece of shit.
No, I know. Thank you for responding, and more so, thank you for all of the help that you've allocated already. Like that, you're making such a big difference in this regard. Because they said that they donated to Make-A-Wish as well, and I'm like, yeah. The girl that we raised this money for had a Make-A-Wish too, but she can't do it, so that's why we're doing this.
And we're trying to reach out.
And
to
so,
our community.
and I don't want to put any business out. I don't want you to, but so we appreciate you. We found one. We're just going to find the community, put one together. Yeah. Thanks a bunch.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Is prom still on? We have a question. Let's get to that real quick. Yes. Probably maybe June.
Yeah.
Because we have an invite-only cotillion maybe this year.
Yeah, probably. Cotillion's going to be pretty exclusive.
A lot of crazy stuff. How are your feet, Elgina Steve? My feet are fine.
Yeah.
I did almost flip fully front feet over back feet. I almost fell.
And I missed it.
Bobby Badahawk in all of his glory. And you can catch all of these videos on our Sophisticated Hoosiers page if you're watching on YouTube. And go watch on Twitch. Everybody download Twitch. Go watch us on Twitch. Twitch
Tell
is
you
the
what,
future.
if you an easy way to do that, if you're on a desktop computer,
there you go.
You can just go to HoosierSophisticate.com. On the main page, as soon as you pull it up, you'll see us there. In the, there's going to be a box with the video. You can choose how you want to watch it. In this, I'm telling you guys, Twitch is going to be the best picture.
Yeah.
All your comments are still going to come through here. So if you want to get introduced to Twitch, also potentially download it. We would love to probably shoot some exclusive content on Twitch only and grow that following because It's the way to watch. It's the
Oh,
way to
sure,
watch
man.
streaming stuff, man. I really do dig it.
So, we took everybody on a day-long trip around St. Louis, just trying to raise a little money. Those videos were everything. That's kind of what we're trying to do, just present content to people. And I'm so proud of our group for everybody pitched in a little bit, and now we got a swing set for this family.
So first off, I'm
how
proud
cool
of
is
you,
that?
man. Like I'm proud of you. I'm proud of Mike. I didn't know
Mike's
where I
great.
was going to fit into this thing, and I ended up. It was.
I was getting to the flip.
Yeah, well, that's maybe we'll maybe we can lead,
we'll
lead
do
right
that.
up to that.
do that because-
So I didn't know what I was going to do. I had to contribute something, but I wasn't sure to what extent. And we were talking about it, and I'm like, well, fuck, I had to get Landon to Springfield.
Yeah.
And go hang with my mom for a week, and I'm like, well, if I'm going to do this, in order for me to be worth anything, I'm going to have to go down and back tonight. So I ended up leaving at like 7:00. Saturday night, get back about 2:30 in the morning. I wake up, talk to you, because I didn't know what time you were going to start. I didn't know if it was going to be early.
I didn't know what time I was going to start. You know how I am with those.
So then as I was driving home from Springfield, I got, buddy, I'm in a
Dude, man.
I am in a zone right now. I'm preparing to do a little ceremony for myself here soon.
Cool.
And so I've been down the medicine music rabbit hole building my playlist, to do this. And I got to thinking about you with the Hare Krishna chants and everything like that. And
buddy.
that's what this music does for me. So I can listen. I understand how weird it is for some people, but I can listen to Icaros. And honestly, Landon pretty much slept the whole way there, and I had the whole ride back to myself. About 6 to 7 hours of just meditation in the music. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, Bobby just hasn't been around for a while. What better way for Bobby to come back than to go help out his old cousin Cucky? But I still didn't quite know what that looked
They
like.
kept it a secret from me.
I know.
Because Jenny goes, I was like, Jen, I for real need socks. Like, I always put this call out, like, I need something, help me. And she's like, oh, someone's coming with socks. And I was like, I guess it was be Craig. But then the way Mike was talking, he was like, I didn't think he was talking to you.
Right.
He wasn't.
He won't.
And Bobby Battlehawk comes up with Skinner blasted on the whole silver.
Yeah,
ball.
man. I mean, just how it is.
The socks were a game changer. I don't know if I would have been able to
You wouldn't have.
finish in comfortable fashion like I did, because I got a little blister, but nothing like that was forming with my regular pair
and
of
there was
socks.
a nice
wool.
Jen picked you out the real nice thick
she
woolies.
nailed
Yeah,
it,
she
dude.
did for
That
sure.
was-
You needed that padding.
Definitely. And the bags helped. Shout out to Adam Bundren, too. I went to his house in the morning, and I go, hey, man, a little skit in the
Oh,
morning.
we should have got
whatever.
that on here.
I know.
That's all right.
But he's in his garage smoking a heater.
No shirt
Beer
on, beer
cans,
cans all over the joint.
He goes, I thought you were going to get here at 4 a.m. And I go, no, man, I'm at 4 p.m. yesterday, but I sent you a text, and he's like, all right, I got you a brew. And he's got 2 beers, and he chugs his beer. Okay,
It was great.
He does. And he's all tatted up. Just a few tats here and shit. So he looks real good, just fucking stretched
doubt.
out. And then he goes, yeah, blades are over there. Kind of go to the camera. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, what do you need them for? I'm like, oh, I've got to play a little kid who has cancer one-on-one in hockey. And he's like, cool. I stole those from a 7-year-old kid with cancer. And I'm like, oh, he's
on it.
rolling with
He was on it.
rolling with it.
was
And then,
awesome.
so after we get done, he goes, man, chugging that beer was tough. I haven't done that in a long time. Little morning chug. He's like, I really had to get into character.
Yep, let's set the
there.
tone for his whole day.
Exactly. So, Adam, thank you so much for contributing the blades. Go
ahead.
The blade. So thank you. But that was cool. We do have some footage of it, but I want to get back to Bobby Battlehawk. Showed up, had ripstick at first, which was a poor choice. I was already on rollerblades. But then he said, let me hunt down some scooters. So we get to Eternal Flame Park where the flame is out. And we find a couple scooters. The scooters saved the day. He had a tow rope. He's towing me, right? And I had lost a wheel about a fourth of the way into this thing.
Yeah.
I lost a wheel and a not
Not a bearing, but the bolt that holds it through.
Yeah, so sorry about that. Hopefully you can find a few replacements. But it has a hook at the end of this tow rope. I grabbed the tow rope, Craig's cooking by me, Bobby Battlehawk, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna grab it. I grab the rope, but I don't want to pull you back. But I also want to give it some slack so I don't get yanked, you don't get yanked. I'm not going to yank off anybody in this situation.
Yeah.
And so just so happens the hook grabs that empty space in those metal blades.
Yeah, it was Batman with a grappling hook shit.
And Craig presses on the throttle because I'm like, I got it, dude. I go, I got it. And as my leg is flying into the air, I'm like, oh, it hooked onto your blade because I was like, oh, I'll be fine.
And about that time, the slack pulled out of the rope.
I fell on my keister.
God, I wish we had that on video.
I told Mike right before that. I was
Just
like,
roll
battery.
yeah.
It's wet. Well, it was raining.
Yeah.
It was raining, so I was like, get my phone out of the rain. Pretty much is what I was saying. Anywho, we had a blast and we raised some fun.
Let's give him a little taste of it. Let's give him a little taste of it. And yeah, I don't know. We had some fun, guys. We raised $3,000, dude. You raised $3,000.
No, we didn't.
The sophisticated Hoosiers. That was the whole deal. I was like, I'm gonna figure out a way to do this. I've got no joints in either of my legs. What am I gonna do?
I got a couple comments on here. Relax, all right. My old man is a television repairman. He's got this ultimate set of tools. I can fix it. That's from Brian Kessler. Chillums at Dawn YouTube playlist is pretty fantastic if you're into the chanty type thing. Oh, nice. From Kristen Nelson.
Nice.
Yo, Bobby, you ever get that stroker out of the shop?
Hey, dude, fucking quarantine and shit, man.
I hear you, brother. And then quote, this is a comment from Missy Bliss. It is, Craig loves to be yanked off sunglasses emoji. You like an old fashioned?
I like the unencumbered thumb, the Western.
Oh, like where they do this?
Yeah, the old Western.
Oh, damn right, dude. I'll take. Listen,
it's no surprise.
if Jen wants to touch my pee-pee, I'm gonna.
That no doubt.
Yeah,
Slap it,
man,
step
Twitch. Yeah, man, Twitch. Yeah, man. Who is that? Raggin? Raggin for you. That's an interesting name from Twitch.
Cool. Right on. We got a Twitch follower?
No, it's Rag24, not Raggin for you.
Oh, well, either which way.
Either way,
Hey,
we don't judge
why
around
don't
here.
we-
Hit him with it.
why
We
don't we
can
just
talk
hit him
over
with
it
it?
the whole time, too. Here's a little footage. That's the arch in the background and the Capitol.
The old courthouse.
Thank you. Look at those two majestic stallions.
That looked like
going
an
through.
orange with a knife stuck in the bottom of it.
Yeah, going underneath that bridge was good. The acoustics were real nice. I remember, and this is
That was when the 38 special was really blaring.
ripping. It was ripping through the streets. Not a lot of people out.
Quarantine's bizarre, man.
Really bizarre.
It was weird just having an empty city to roll about in.
This is a slalom. This is when we're getting. Whoa! Almost took you off there. We were getting a little. You can see my plastic bags that were protecting those wool socks. That was mandatory. That hat became more of a detriment than a rain shield. It just kept flipping off my head. It was terrible. We got some hardcore rain right now here. We got a lot of rain here. But I didn't mind getting wet with you. Like, it was warm enough.
I love getting wet with you, man.
Yeah, like it was
Like
a
old
good
Bobby
run.
said, man, ain't many places he goes where it don't get at least that way.
This is great, Bobby. Look at that. I'll be honest. I'm just skating behind you at this point. Like,
So, yeah, a fun fact about rentable scooters. When you get into high traffic areas like around
shut
Busch
you down.
Stadium, it actually governs you and tells you that you're in a low speed. I thought I ran out of money.
yeah, well, you get that part. I'm going to hear it. Yeah, here's where the world champion cards call home. Uh-oh. Here we go. There's a little slow part there. Uh-oh.
Yeah, you had to actively like skate backwards to not run into them.
But that's a good idea because those things cook. And if you're going through Ballpark Village, cooking.
Let me
you
go through there at 15 miles an
Yeah,
hour
that
during
thing.
game day. You think you could toggle it on for game day or not, though, you know?
I would think so. God bless Mike. Mike's getting all this footage right now. Like,
Dude, he did a hell of a job. I mean, I'm
Look at that.
on Scoot. I'm out of money.
there we go.
Things fucking holding the credit card. I think I'm out of money.
Am I out of money? Good view, Mike.
No doubt. What a shot.
Shout out to Mike. That's it. I don't have to do anything, do I?
a little fun. Having a little fun in St. Louis, raising some money. I thought you set a big goal, bud. And
That was our biggest goal.
And on top, like, what was more impressive than you just setting that goal and, setting it at $3,000 was the fact that you only shared it inside of our Sophisticated, like the journey inside of Sophisticated Hoosiers. Yeah. I mean, if that doesn't speak to the testament of just the power of our group and our small group of friends, like we raised $3,000 in a day, not to mention the cash that people found us and dropped off.
Yeah, I know.
It was just fucking awesome, man.
I know.
It was really cool. It was really cool.
I totally thought we were going to double that cash on the boat, but you win.
Hey, dude, sometimes it's red, sometimes it's black, man. What are you going to do, man?
It's a weird world we're living in, man.
But hey, fuck, she could have had a real nice swing set.
Oh, here we go. Our Twitch comment, which gets priority over everything. How many different ones did you rent? That's a bird. Weren't you guys on orange ones later?
Yes.
Who is this?
Yes, I
detective?
started out with a bird scooter. Wow. And then, as I told, that's only a small little clip. We've got quite a bit of footage. We'll make a little montage.
Oh, another one. Another Twitch.
Oh,
Hold
man,
on.
he's so excited about the Twitches.
Pasta salad overdose. Pasta salad overdose.
Okay, I like pasta salad.
I like that a lot. Okay.
Yes, we did. I started on a bird scooter. I went and grabbed Steve. It was kind of a whole menagerie. But when I pulled him down to about I'll tell you where it was. It was at Twisted
Pulled my
Ranch,
pants
down
down
Soulard.
about to my
We got all the way
ankles.
down to Soulard. There were two spins.
And we said
that were parked in
flip 'em
silence.
out.
Swap these bad boys out.
Swap 'em out.
And we found something out, bud.
Oh, if you get a chance to be on rollerblades and a scooter and just use your rollerblade.
Challenge anybody else on a scooter to a race. Do it. You'll burn them. They got no weight on
them.
you got no weight on scooter. And when you popped a wheelie and you were just a motor, bud, you were getting it. I'll bet that's as high as that speedometer goes because I think it was pretty well governed at 15, 14.
You're damn right.
7, 15.
That's the fastest that thing
That
has
has
probably
ever gone. Yep. It is the fastest it's ever gone.
I might have broke some.
You
sort of
broke a land speed record
That's
on rentable scooters.
Well, goddamn.
No doubt. And if
diggity
anybody,
dog damn.
has like a plug on electric scooters like that we could just buy, that we can recharge and buy and everything, that'd be pretty sweet.
Kessler says those scooters are still there at.
Oh, they send someone around to pick them up.
Yeah, they sent someone around to pick them up. So settle down, Brian. I get 34 miles per hour uphill. Oh, 3 miles per hour. Yeah, that sounds or down. That's a Twitch.
Isaac is really upset that he didn't get to go blading with you. He watched all the videos and loved them. That's from Cynthia.
Oh, well, shit.
Kelly Webb says it looks like it was a blast. Kelly Webb was our
winner,
contest winner.
Did you send that stuff yet?
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you really?
No, it's right there.
No, she didn't win the pie.
Yes, she did.
Won
She won the Chillum and the Kind Pen and one of those bottles of CBD.
We'll send it to you. Craig's in charge of the shipping department. Ooh, Kimberly Margaret Campsey is laughing, and I don't know that name. Vince goes fucking
Mopar power, dude. You get it, man. I was mad, dude, because Cucky was just outrunning Bobby, and I'm like, he's running open headers. I mean, he's running open headers. He's getting a dump like Noss in there, and I'm running off a fucking biodiesel.
Listen, man, I had more wheels and less friction. That's
ain't no doubt about that,
scientific.
dude. It was a blast, guys. It was awesome. He came in yesterday, and I hadn't seen his costume. I thought he looked like a bear. Well, that was the idea, anyway. I certainly was looking bearish. Need a scooter. Those things fucking cruise. They do. Bobby's hair just a flowing. Heard that.
Oh man, it was so cool because I didn't really know what was coming to Steve and the Skinnerd on the friggin' radio. We just want to do fun stuff like that and make the thing that I got out of it most after kind of just sitting and thinking about it for a while and sleeping a lot is I think people, and we're going to get to a big question later in the show, second half of the show, of whether people are good or not, and because especially in the time of social media, if someone does something asinine and it's newsworthy, some of the comments are, people are shitty, people are animals, look at these fucking dehumanizing humans. And then we go do stuff like this on what now is a consistent ass basis. Like, look at our Facebook memories from 3 or 4 years ago, and I'm like, well, we've been doing it. And it only proclaims that people are good.
Yeah.
We're good. There's a lot of us that are good. And what is good? Are there good people? Are there bad people? Are you born that way? Can you change? Are you just a product of your last shitty or good choice?
Or are you just a?
Are you just a?
Are you just? I don't know.
Maybe
It
you
could
might
be.
be.
You might be.
We got a caller on the line.
Oh, we do.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, I am. Is Craig there?
Yeah. This is Craig, ma'am.
Yeah, well, I want to talk to the manager because you have been talking about mushrooms on your show, and I found some mushrooms in my backyard. I ate them, and I don't feel so hot right now.
Ma'am.
You were talking about mushroom. We got a bunch of new buttons
We all
over
got the
there.
buttons
So
and
we're
shit,
doing
man.
stupid
We're just
shit.
having fun, doing
Guys,
our thing.
You want to do this?
Yeah, I think it's time to talk about some weed news. Are we talking about weed? Whoa.
Look at that. That's Hoosier Sophisticate. That's our picture. Look
Yeah,
at that.
that's the feature. That's the feature.
Yeah, because I was like, this is Evolution Mag. We did the hit him with the bow. I'm gonna hit him with the bow. Do you have that?
You're
on
gonna
there?
have to hit him with the bow.
All right, this is what we do, people. I'm not gonna no introduction. Here you go. Hey DJ Shaba. Hey ladies. I'm gonna turn the mic off. Oh, wait.
I'm gonna smoke a little weed, boy.
I wanna grow some trees, boy.
When I grow all the weed that I smoke, and I blow all the trees that he grows, and I smoke all the weed that I grow, and I grow all the trees that he smokes. Well, I'm growing and I'm smoking, so I go see Bo. Puff, pass. And I smoke what I grow, yeah. Grow active solution, and I'm growing the hydro.
Bo knows hydro.
And I'm growing the hydro.
Grow active solutions.
Bono hydro. Bono hydro. Bono hydro. Bono how to grow. Bono how to grow. Grow active solution. Bono how to grow.
Yeah, so that pretty much sums it up. We've been working with Evolution Mag and doing the Stay at Home Grow series.
It's awesome.
It's been awesome.
I can't wait to hang with Bo again.
And our boy James Thomas has been helping out. Casey Weedblog,
He's a
follow
stud.
them. I know Nate on Cannabis is trying to grow his YouTube. He learned a lesson that maybe not you can't. That's the bull crap we deal
It's
with
fucking
Facebook
nonsense.
and YouTube
He said,
all the time.
He said he likes the new set layout too.
Oh hell yeah! Of course I put it together.
Must not have tuned in for the last month and a half.
What?
Or something, man.
No, but Nate on Cannabis.
I love Nate.
He wants to let people know the straight up facts about
Yeah,
cannabis.
he's not sensationalizing or selling weed.
Cannabis in his damn name. How can we trust him?
Yep.
We can't put him on a shadow ban. We had to deal with the shadow ban. Our first ad on Instagram 3 years ago, whatever stupid thing we were talking about, fucking CBD and other legal concentrates and stuff, and they're like, whoa,
No way, Jose.
we can't take your money. Hell no, you can't run an ad
And that-
with. I don't want to get you all fired up.
It was
but
a completely, I mean, and that was the appeal, right? Like, it's a completely legal substance, and the rebuttal is not everywhere that we broadcast. Well, fuck. Then do like you do with music, and don't broadcast, don't let it be seen in countries that don't allow CBD use.
They're
Like, I
already-
give a fuck what they look at in Saudi Arabia. I don't give a shit.
For real, I'm trying to get some fans across the globe. The first thing we ever did, remember, I
No doubt.
advertised in Brazil and India because I was like, why not?
We got a big Brazil following.
We do. We got like 3 or 4 people.
Yeah, fuck yeah,
Except
huge.
they were all
I mean,
just
it's a
trying to
country
fuck.
of several hundred million.
Those dudes were just trying to fuck.
They
All
always
right.
are.
There's a couple good articles in this I wanted to kind of tell you about.
Okay.
And this is kind of the rundown of Evolution Mag.
Yeah.
They just have little articles, easily digested, keeping you up with things, and just other things that you might not be thinking about. And we love most of the people.
And
who
Clay,
contribute to
like
this
Chris
thing.
Smith, dude's just been everywhere. Like
He's a hustler.
there's a group of people that you just see at every event, and it is. I mean, they're putting the work in, and it's all
Putting it
their
on the
their
news.
job. They're literally putting it on the news.
Putting it on the
But more than anything, dude, they're just trying to educate people,
I know.
and that's what I mean.
I know. We're the ones talking about.
We're
dicks and
telling
stuff.
dick jokes.
Yeah.
Fucking,
But this comes from
You guys wanna learn something, read something.
Antoinette Dupree, which I think we've seen her. She's at Spark. legal.
Okay.
They've been all over the place helping people.
Yeah,
just
sure.
Putting in work. She talks about workplace. What are you going to need to know about being an employee and using cannabis now? Because that's a big thing.
Okay.
Essentially, what I'm saying is a qualifying patient's right to possess and use medical cannabis trumps the right of the employer in most situations, except federally. Obviously, if you have a job with the government, it's going to be
Well,
a lot
and
tougher.
that is fucking backwards for me. Like, as much of a cannabis, psychedelic, legalize all drugs advocate as I am, nothing. You are entering into an employment contract voluntarily.
Sure.
Nobody owes you anything that allows you to medicate how you see fit. The first thing that they'll always say is, well, they don't care if you take opiates. I'm not talking about opiates. But if they wanted to fire you for taking Advil, they should be able to do that because it's their property. But federally and at the state level, no. The government that says, no, this is legal and we can collect revenue off of it, they should not be. Now, if you're
Totally, you're absolutely.
if you're doing a job that's, whatever, CIA or FBI, you got to be sober all the time in order to effectively
Unless you
do
wanna go
your
deep
job.
undercover.
Then I guess there's some arguments to be made there. But to say a private employer, your rights to medicate trump their rights to no, it's not a protected class. I mean, an employer should be able to fire you for wearing a green shirt if they don't like it.
Yep, and say, play a little devil's advocate. Well, if the company's so big and then there's only that's the only opportunity, and it's a good company, and then they're saying this, then I'm always like, well, we should rally people together
No doubt.
and take them down because if they're practicing bad business practices, stop supporting them.
doubt.
We can alleviate everything if we. That's why
vote
we
with your dollar.
together. As Hoosier Sophisticate and Mycelium Media, we always want to be giving back to not giving back to community. That sounds stupid. That's not what we do. We help grow the community. We help support the community. I want to see it flourish, and us going, here's some money. That helps in certain situations, but showing people and giving people the opportunity to help, that's where it comes in, man. That's where the beauty comes in.
doubt.
And you can tell which companies are doing that and which ones aren't. Now with social media.
You get to ultimately, attach a value to that. If Walmart's doing something that you don't like and you don't want to support Walmart, great. But there's a price that Walmart can dictate because of the practices they put in place. And so if you got to go to the local grocery store and spend 70 cents more for a pound of meat or whatever, that's the deal.
Yeah.
So what is the worth to you? Because the deal is, this is the deal that's being laid out. And I think what happens is we all kind of grow accustomed, especially people like, dude, I'm always floating around the poverty line. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I'm always trying to figure out how we're gonna make some bills work out and
How
everything
can we do
like
this
that.
full time?
And so there's a challenge there. Like there's an ethical challenge to that where it's like, okay, how much is my morals worth, my code, how much is my code worth?
You
And a lot
bastardize
of times I will go way the fuck out of my way to patronize a business that I would rather give my money to than to just be like, well, this fits in the budget and it's convenient and like
I'm
those are
guilty of
things that
both.
you're
I'm guilty of both.
100%. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like you get to cross that road with every decision you make because it's all just a series of choices.
You're exactly
Anyway,
right.
so
I
we can get
love
back to
that you had that thought because I kind of read it through and I was like,
It seems backwards to me. That's all.
that's why I love having you around because you will. Your views on freedom and liberty are really, I don't know if admirable is the right word, but just very logical and like,
Yeah, pretty cut and dry.
yeah, pretty cut and dry to where a lot of it gets bogged down with, well, what if this happens and what if this happens? You're like, no. Here's pretty much the base of how we should react to things, and here's how we need to attack each thing in its own. So to have that. And the federal government saying, how many states have it legalized, and they're still like, well, federally,
it's fucking nonsense. It's nonsense. But that's the only point I was making there. Like I understand it's an unpopular opinion because most of us are going to work in the private sector. So we want to be able to say, hey, if I'm in a job that I'm completing all of my tasks, nobody should be able to tell me what I can do.
Sure.
Off business hours. Take that first.
How do you feel about this? I read something in Greenway magazine, another great publication covering the cannabis industry. And we miss Mike. We need Mike to fix that thing. But they were talking about how, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I could have swore that the cops weren't going to have a database of all the card holders.
That was the original.
Well, that's changed because I just saw a post on Facebook, and maybe this is all here, so you can just hold it for the next little bit if you want. And then they said that the cop was able to check the system to see if he was a card holder, and now they're saying all the employees, and I think this is from a little bit ago, so maybe something has changed by now, and maybe you guys can help me out with that. But they're saying, fingerprints, ID, just every kind of little bit of information they can get about you is going to be sent to the FBI now, and just a lot of your data is going to be collected if you want to work in the cannabis industry. Okay. And it's kind of interesting that this outlaw practice that we talk about all the time, now you're on the federal government's watch list more so than you ever would have been. Probably if you were selling drugs illegally, they probably have more information on you now, just because I guess they're worried, like, well, what if this guy runs off with 1,000 plants and we got to catch him. We got all of his fingerprints and we got his DNA and we'll get him. I'm sick and tired of our data constantly being collected and stored and us getting nothing from it. But like you said, kind of going back before, with employment, you know what I mean? If they say they need to collect all this and you want to work there, then
that's the deal. That's the deal.
That's the deal. You know, now the federal government saying that we need to send this to the FBI. It's like, well, hey, asshole, you're still saying it's illegal federally. Yeah, right. Why are you sending my fingerprints to a federal? That doesn't make me necessarily feel that good.
No doubt. And they made a thing a few years ago. It was like a bunch of their cybersecurity jobs. Like they were having a hard time hiring because of the cannabis, a positive test. So like they're looking the other way when it serves them. Yeah, sure. Anyway, but the terms of employment, and that's also the problem with, as we shop bigger and bigger, and there's this consolidation of smaller businesses, and we try to keep monopolies from forming. But I mean, they say Jeff Bezos is going to be worth $1 trillion by 2026. $1 trillion. He's going to be the world's first trillionaire.
Here we go. The cops, from our buddy Josh Loftus, the cops can access through DHSS, but they cannot, as per the Constitution, possess your MMJ data. And that is only to confirm that you do indeed have your card. Love the Twitch username titty titty titty. Somebody's got a Twitch.
That Missy asked who's titty 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 titty.
Yes,
I love it. I wonder if that's maybe our gal Tiffany. Maybe I don't know.
Law enforcement has access to. Are you gonna read that?
MMJ card holder status through mules. If you want to work in a plant touching capacity, you have to have an agent card, same as all other states.
I know. I know it's pretty cut and dry when it even comes to that, but I still feel like we're just bogging it down with too much language when it's like, come on, motherfuckers. Now we finally made it legal, and now we're like, well, it's not that legal, and it's only legal here, and we have to draw the line somewhere. And it's like,
where is the fucking line, by the way?
Oh, it's like this. It's fucking all.
Well, I mean, especially when it comes to like this is ultimately what always brings me back to liberty. Like, what is the fucking line with government? By the way, like,
sure,
when aren't they just mucking shit up by trying to fix problems? It's the law of unintended consequences, and it happens naturally. Now, I am reminding myself that we should all be very patient with this. I was probably wide-eyed and thinking, oh, other states have already made this happen, so this should be a little bit smoother. And there's been some smooth things through it. The biggest hang-up that we have right now is that fucking bow tie wearing needle dick fucking Randall Williams at DHSS, who has explicitly stated that he thinks marijuana is as bad as opiates. When you have that person holding the keys to the department that's controlling what you want to be a thriving cannabis industry, like, at this point, we have guys like Nate, and we have magazines like Evolution or Greenway. They can give you the skinny, and they can't take like a fucking real hard stance on it. But like, fuck you, Randall Williams. Like you're like he is the biggest thing in the way of all this. With the House passing, potentially granting more licenses.
Listen.
It was never kept. It was never kept. And when he sat in front of that very small board of Missouri legislators and just basically said, we only gave this much based on Mizzou studies, which, by the way, there are way more patients than any Mizzou study was going to do. And why did you farm that out to Mizzou, a university in Missouri that I'm fucking coffeeed up? Why do you farm that out to a fucking university in a state that has no frame of reference for the legal cannabis market other than what they can rely on elsewhere? They make these absurdly low estimates, which we all knew we're going to blow through that number. Listen. And fuck Randall Williams. And like a lot of, for the longest time, it was like everybody wanted the dog on Fraker. And then after I saw that, I'm like, oh, this fucking little smoky having motherfucker. Like, there's people that like don't belong in bow ties. You know what I mean? Like when you see him, just like, I'd like to fucking knock that bow tie off of his smug prick little face. That's kind of, where feel free to cut it. I don't care. I got no friends at DHS. I don't give a shit. But like when you have that guy running the program and the program is entrusted to him, what is it exactly do you think you're going to be able to do? Of course we're moving at a snail's pace. We got fucking Nixon running the DHSS. Except Nixon knew what he was doing. This guy who claims to be a doctor, do you want to just keep on going?
This is why I like having Craig as a partner so much, because I'm going to make a different plea to you. You bow tie wearing needle dick, as my partner so eloquently
Well,
put.
I can't show him a kid with cancer. That won't change his fucking mind.
Maybe you're
That
a
won't
complete
change
ass.
his mind.
Maybe you're not a complete asshole. I just have I'm not. You can say that for yourself, big boy. My plea to you is that maybe rethink things. I'm going to come at you with a little bit of love, a little bit of compassion, and I'm going to try to educate you. And I think the best way to do that is maybe travel somewhere with Craig and I, and we can boof some bro. You ready? You ready, little bow tie wearing needle dick? Yeah, I don't know. It's hard. It's tough. It's definitely tough. It'd be nice to have like the front cover of Justin Trudeau of cannabis, this charismatic guy or girl who's like, hey, I love the new press secretary, by the way, too. She's just kind of all over the place. Like, and you've seen her?
No, I don't know.
Oh, it's kind of interesting. I just saw a couple clips. I'm like, interesting. But it'd be nice to have someone who's not that. It'd be nice to have someone who's not that on there. Oh, believes everything except for needle dick. Our Twitch stream is blowing up tonight, and I am happy about it.
That's how I figured I would use
titty.
That's how I figured I would use it. Just a half step off, So it really serves no real purpose.
Let me read
what else you got, brother?
Let me read you the other one, because they got a couple in here, and I won't bore you with these articles all night. But
You're not going to bore me with Evolution magazine articles. They're phenomenal.
Aspen, thank you. Aspen Jewel, pain management therapy. Could cannabis help? Chronic pain, neuropathic pain, arthritis, cancer. We've seen it time and time again.
Does the Pope shit in the woods?
Yeah, he wants.
Yeah, the Pope can shit wherever he wants.
Poop wherever
Anywhere.
he wants. Never mind. And Christina Frommer. Forker. Christina, damn you. She is in the trenches.
Canna Convict Project. What a fucking noble.
And man, our buddy, not our buddy, but brother in spirit, Steve Sutherland. That's a fucking travesty.
It's a travesty.
It's a fucking travesty, dude. So, we try to do all this good to combat some of the shit that happens in people's lives. Like if we can John said something so meaningful the other day, John Matthews saying, you guys are just bringing laughs to our family.
I hope so.
Like as far as anything goes, he's like, you guys are ridiculous. And like, it's hard to laugh.
That's true.
It's hard to laugh sometimes. And if you can make fun of yourself or just, we were out there in fucking jeans, or laugh at us. Laugh at us.
Please.
I don't care.
Please. Well, you think
I'm
I
over
dress
that.
like that to look good? Because I do.
The trim stitch was a little bleak.
Trim stitch was real bleak. I can tell I had your funny bone a little bit yesterday. We were having some fun. I had,
dude. That
I
was
really
some
did
of
have
the
a
best
blast.
thing ever.
For real. If anybody has, like, I don't. We were asking this.
so
Does
much fun.
Bird or Spin or Lime do any of them have like? Do they have like a thing like Enterprise where like you can buy the old ones that have some fucking hours on them? Maybe put a new battery pack in it. Fucking throw a little NOS in the back of that thing, dude. Fucking kick
Yeah,
start.
we are going to start a little scooter troop.
Scooter gang. Scooter gang. Hang on.
Scooter troop.
Bullhorning, baby.
All right, so that's Evolution Mag. We touched on Evolution a little bit of Green
There's
Bay, but
phenomenal content. Pretty much any store, CBD store, anybody that's a potential dispenser, this is going to be sitting there. The information in it is always awesome.
Lee's Zeta.
Lee's
Zeta
Chicken?
Car.
Lee Zeta Car, Hariom Hemp. I did
Yeah.
did a psychedelic podcast with her, and Zoom kind of fucked us. So I'm trying to see what I can salvage out of it. Lee, if you're watching, we might just have to sit down in person and do it again. It just didn't. From what I saw, like Zoom fucked us so bad that you're not even going to get her
You
story
know
the
how
way
I
that
felt about Zoom in the John Payne interview.
So, it was tough. She's great. Psychedelic Nurses Association, like
Talk about this
on
a
the
little
board
bit?
of that. Yeah, we can talk about that.
Craig, tell him.
Well, we're going to donate some money
More so good stuff.
to dogs and to veterans. And if you don't throw $5 at that pipe, you hate dogs and you hate veterans. Even if you're not a smoker, put a chance in. Put a chance in for this pipe and give it to a friend. Because I'm telling you, Brian Clark knocked that
buddy.
out of the fucking
Buddy.
park, man. That Fibonacci sequence in the middle of that thing. I don't know if
It's unbelievable.
I don't
It
know
doesn't
if it
do
really
get it
picks
right up
up
on there if you want to.
Maybe it's gonna fuck our whole picture up. But dude, this thing is the kitty's titties. Is all I'm saying. Like, it is awesome. It's awesome. So we're going to for every $5 you donate.
Yep. It's
there's
already
a
up
link
to
on it.
$180.
For every $5 you donate, you're going to get an entry.
Pipe retail
Into-
70, I think, 75
Yeah, it's
so
a
we're already
nice little piece.
Jason at Sweetleaf has already helped us raise double, over almost triple what the pipe is
Oh,
worth.
for God's sakes, he's helped
For
us.
K9s with camo.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. And then this one, we're going to do this one for Nolan's Tribe as soon as this one's over. Nolan's Tribe for Cannabis Warriors. Does that look
Yes,
good?
it looks so good, dude. That thing is so cool.
Nolan's Tribe of Warriors for Cannabis. I don't know why I'm always like Nolan's Tribe for Cannabis Warriors. It's not what it is.
You know me and names.
Nolan's Tribe of Warriors for Cannabis.
Nolan's
Tribe of Warriors for Cannabis. Hang on one more
Ed
time.
Nolan's Tribe of Warriors for Cannabis.
You just got to take the articles out of there and kind of try and figure out where all that goes together.
Oh, Missy's on the text line reading my mind. Swear to God, I hate not being able to win. I know when I saw that fucking weed pipe,
Babe, I said it the other day. Like, this is lame.
No, Jason's kind of a butt. Tiffany Jones, it's beautiful. Jenny George Elgin has seen it.
Cindy actually was the one that brought up
she
Canines
was.
for Camo.
Yes, she was.
And it's a great charity. They supply veterans with service dogs at no cost. And buddy, we've known a handful of veterans whose dogs are like they're literal roll dogs. Like that is before anything else, before any person, that dog is their companion, their number one. And it's pretty powerful to see that. See the people like
yeah,
that
I
thing
love
is
that
on their
shit.
hip at all times. It's such a noble cause. We're gonna raise a couple $100, $5 for a shot at that thing. I fucking hate not being able to win it too. As soon as I saw that pipe, I wanted to buy it from Jason, and he's like, "No, you guys are gonna take it." And
No, that's what he
raffle it
does.
off."
Whenever
And like,
Craig and I go in there and we're
like,
like,
"Oh, we're gonna
"Dude,
pay
that
you
is
money
so
for this."
cool." Yeah, we're like, well, he's like, "Oh, actually wrap it up." And I'm like, "Sweet, coming home to daddy." He's like, "Give it away.
Give it
for
away.
charity, you ass.
help
blood."
help Let's
I'm
help
like, why'd
people
you
help
call me that?
people. That's what he said. Let's help people help people.
I know. Yeah, he's a magnificent specimen. They average $25,000 to $40,000 per dog. What?
That's
They
pretty
average
incredible.
25 to 40,000.
Is that like feeding it from seed to sale? Is that the
the
deal?
hell
Like,
is
is
she
that like
talking
a
about? I think
from calf to butcher? Like,
if I get tricked by another dog fighting ring, I swear to God.
I swear.
Again.
Who are you running with that you know all these dog ring fighters, fighting dog rings.
Oh, dude, I told you Achilles. My. If we don't have to get into that right now, but I told you
Jason has a huge heart, which he may want to have checked out.
So, yeah, it's enlarged.
Yeah, that's not
large
safe.
heart.
It's not safe. I'm getting Dr. Christina Yang on it. Oh, Grey's Anatomy drop. What's up?
Jesus Lord. We are going to get to streaming picks. I hit the pipes, Twitch. Everyone watch on Twitch. Another little short quip about our lives. Mike calls me up, and I had to shoot, or he actually texted me. And we've met the Matthews family, the Aubrey Strong, the Matthews family, a few times. Mike, I think, has met him once, and he goes, "Steve, great idea. I'm gonna make this bubble one." And he's like, "I got a bubble solution guy."
I just love. Can we just say that you and I have like a sidebar conversation?
Sidebar for everything.
Always. We have a sidebar
Always
for everything.
for
So go ahead.
But Mike texts me, and at first I'm like, "Oh, this guy, God love him. He has the biggest heart in the entire. And
He's
do
made of sugar and spice and
anything
all the things that are nice.
He'll do anything for anyone. Like
real.
the worst shit where you're like, "Oh, cool, yeah, I'll help you. I got some shit going on." He's like, "No, I'll do it." And I'm like, "Oh my God." But he's like, I've seen these bubbles. Kids love bubbles. He's like, "I'm going to go out there and get these huge bubbles." And in my sick mind, I see Mike like in a black leotard or something, like trying like a Green Man suit except black, like trying to make the bubbles out front. And he's in his blacked out Monte Carlo and is filling up this bubble solution. And he's got the big rope and he's like going in front, just sprinting through the Matthews' front yard. And he's like, "Get your kids! Get your kids out here!
I'm putting on a show."
Yeah, I'm putting on a show. So he does, and the kids can't touch the balloons, obviously. But then I was like, okay, what if, let's say Mike has COVID, and he's kind of like, it's in his lip, mouth area, and a little particle goes into a balloon that he blows.
Yeah, it would fall like short, probably at 2 feet. That's why we have 6 feet of social distancing.
Yeah, but it goes in the bubble, and the kids are.
He's
so
found a
excited.
way to package germs like an intercontinental ballistic missile.
It was like Kuwait at their house.
He is serving germs at long distances
it was
and
not good.
has no control over the
No
accuracy.
control.
That thing could
His
fly
neighborhood-
anywhere.
It'll affect the
Totally.
neighborhood. So, God bless you. But that was one of the funniest visuals I got in my head.
Well, he told me, he kind of, Ken Zimmerman said, "Hey, I got some toys. I just need someone to come pick them up." I thought it was
and
like,
Mike immediately would have ran there
I thought
by
it
foot.
was like a castle, like a set, like the stand-up set, big thing go in the backyard or something like that. So I'm like, "Oh, dude, I'll throw the seats down in the back of the van. I'll come pick it up, no problem." And Mike was like, "Oh, I'll come grab it." And I'm like, "Dude, I got it. It's no problem." I should have let Mike do it because I ended up having
God,
to
he's
meet
so
him the
great.
next day anyway. But he's like, "Oh, I'm heading down there. I'm going to do a bubble show." And I just didn't know how to react. I go,
Bubble Man Mike.
I was just like, "Oh,
Jenny
fuck."
loved it.
I
with
go,
all
"Oh,
of her
fucking
heart.
A, dude." I was like, "Cool." And then like I sat with it for a little while and I was like, "Wait, what does a bubble show entail?" Like,
I know.
not that like I'm like has he been doing this for a while? Is he like doing kids parties and shit? Because maybe I don't know.
Like he's got Venga boys in the background. And he's just out there at the fucking thing. Just fucking giving them a show. I got
And that's what I was
something to tell
picturing.
ya.
That's what I was picturing.
Me too.
When very first time I went to Manhattan, my buddy lives in Hell's Kitchen. We're walking around the city. We go to Central Park. It's like nothing like anything I'd ever seen before. I fell in love with this. I'm like, "Oh, I get it. I understand why people live in New York." We're walking through Central Park, and there's like these two dudes on rollerblades, oddly enough.
Like it?
And they're just kind of skating around in a circle, right?
In a circle?
Yeah, I'm like on this little thing. They're just kind of skating around each
Yeah.
other, kind of doing their thing. And then all of a sudden you kind of hear music off in the distance and it's getting closer. And then like another skater comes up and now he's like in the circle and they're like fucking roller discoing a little bit. Person sets down the stereo outside of there. Before you know it, it's a flash mob of fucking rollerbladers just roller discoing in the middle of Central Park. And these two dudes run over with this giant pool of some kind of solution and a couple of big heavy ropes. And the two of them are on each side and they're grabbing the ropes and they're blowing bubbles that are like, they're huge. They're immense. They're the size of little Volkswagens, And I was like, holy fuck, New York. This is like a Tuesday at like 11 a.m. Like I was like, this is the wildest shit. Like you never know what you're going to see here. So when Mike's telling me that he's going to do a bubble show, I got this grand idea
too. I've seen
of
some
what
good
that looks
bubble
like.
shows.
And then I think I talked
I've
to you. I was
seen
like,
a
I
good
guess
bubble
Mike's
show.
going down there to do a bubble show. And I think you said something about how like he was just going to take a wand, and I'm like, there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way that Mike's going to do like a wand. That's not going to happen. But then like the more and more I thought about it, I'm like, Mike's probably going to blow a wand. I don't think he has bubble tools. I don't think he has a bubble teammate.
Yeah, but if you like got like 40 of those bubble machines, like spent, I don't know, $1,000 on bubble machines and set them all up in front of the house and just let them loose, kind of like, I think the bubble bus does something similar to that. Yeah.
I don't think it would. How much do you think it would cost? I don't think it would cost $1,000.
Dude, bubble machines are not cheap.
Especially during
40
quarantine.
bubble machines?
Especially during, they should be cutting deals right now, the germ transporters that they are. Hey, how long are we into this thing? Should we give them a commercial?
A million hours? 55 minutes?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead? You're actually, that's the one thing I didn't put in the stream deck,
okay.
bud.
Well, let me give them a taste of what we got coming up after the break here. We got a little bit of psychedelic scrapbook. There is a new show on Netflix and our streaming picks. It'll be kind of a double streaming pick, but you do not want to miss that because it's not a...
No, it's great. And,
it's
we're going to go
than the
into
Midnight Gospel, but it's coming, guys. It's happening.
It's happening.
It's happening.
It's totally happening.
We're getting there. Hoosier Fishing Club. I want to talk a little bit about that later. Streaming picks. Thank you to Missouri Cannabis Network. We pretty much got it all. And then we're going to get into our big thoughts talk. Are people good or bad? Maybe talk about. The
I've got another
time.
little topic that we can kind of rant on a little bit that I was thinking about. Like,
I love it.
As my kids are getting older. Yeah. And I just want to kind of ask you the question because I don't think that anybody. I think people probably gave me the advice. I was just shut off to it. So like. Yeah. What's some like if someone could tell you something, you know, in your through like right as you were beginning your high school journey, like into your middle to late teens, what's the thing that would have resonated with you?
Dude, I told you I'm getting ready to go have dinner with my niece.
It's a great fucking call, dude. It's a great fucking call.
All right, cool. I'm in control now.
You are in control, sir. Guys, stick around for the commercials. Help our sponsors out. They're fucking awesome. They make this whole thing possible. They make things possible like us raising $3,000. Acting like a couple of dickheads. And when I say us, please remove me from that. This was Steve and Mike's deal.
This was everybody.
This was Steve's deal. All you guys that donate, I rode a scooter. That's what I did. It wasn't hard. It was a blast.
Oh, how many texts did we get about the Midnight Gospel? I know I got 4 or 5 personally.
Dude, I knew that it wasn't going to be like Tiger King and that like inside of a week or two.
Oh, Billy Joe's on episode 6. Just freaking wait for it.
Oh man. But I knew it was kind of one of those things that even with you, because you're a big Duncan fan.
I'm one of
so like
I'm
I was like
fan.
you were like struggling with the animation a little bit, and I'm like,
yeah.
You're gonna.
I didn't want it to end.
I was like, you're going to love it. I still don't want it to end, and I think that the way that it's being talked about, I would think that I can't believe it's not trending. We can talk about that as well. It was something that I tweeted about. Maybe we'll do that at the end of the Psych Scrapbook. Guys, let's go to commercial, man. We got a lot of fun coming up in the next hour.
Boom! Here come the commercials.
James Carlton Insurance 314-961-4800. Handsome, amazing, astonishing, astounding, fabulous, incredible, fantastical, phenomenal, prodigious, stupendous, unbelievable, wondrous, divine, fantastical. No, seriously, he's fantastical. You got a house, go on and get it insured. You got a car, you gotta get it insured. You got a life, go on and get it insured. James Carlton Insurance.net. Fantastic, stupendous, fantastic.
Do you take our insurance and are you cannabis friendly? Yeah. And they all said no. And then at that last phone call, that 8th phone call, I was like, do you know anybody that is? I'm desperate. I've called 7 other people. You're my 8th phone call. Yeah. At this point, I'm crying my eyes out. And this lady just felt bad for me and said, hold on, let me call you back in a few minutes. And they called me back and they said that they would take him, but under a certain amount of conditions. And the main condition was that if they felt that cannabis was not working for him, then they would take him from us and put him in and Child Protective Services, and then they would take the other 2 kids too.
Oh,
because they were both underage.
Then-
and we would be charged with child endangerment.
So they'd go to federal prison.
Yeah, we would go to federal prison. So we said, bring it on.
Come to Privilege, I got good fries.
No, this is one of the best Cubans. I try a Cuban everywhere I go, and this is one of the best damn Cubans I've ever had. And we've got a little white cheddar mac here with a little cracker mac. Life changing, incendiary.
Everywhere I go, I try the Cuban. This time I didn't. I got the grilled cheese bacon burger.
Look at that thing.
With put some pepper jack on there, some jalapenos. And we got some crinkle fries. And all I can say is, oh baby, grow baby.
As you can see, this was once a delicious plate of coconut scrimps, and I devoured it. And if I had to say, if I had to give a review real quick, I'd say it's an orgasmic feast of the senses.
And I love meat.
See ya at Truman's, guys.
Hey, boys and girls, I'm talking about native hemp extract. That CBD.
That CBD.
Get inside of me.
Inside of me.
That CBD.
That CBD.
Sweet delicious CBD. That
That CBD.
got the CBD. CBD native hemp. That CBD.
That CBD.
You can get it from me.
I can.
That CBD.
That CBD.
Inside of me.
Inside of me.
That CBD.
That CBD.
Get inside of me.
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 Inside of me. Inside of me. Native hemp extract. 1,800 milligrams of total cannabinoid goodness from Pike County, Illinois. Get yours at HoosierSophisticate.com.
We're back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Everybody's in love with the Midnight Gospel, man.
You can get the native hemp CBD extract at HoosierSophisticate.com. There's a tab there.
Tiffany Jones. She's putting it up there for us. Keep going.
Keep
going. She's got it up there for you.
I love it. Listen, go to HoosierSophisticate.com. You click on the native hemp extract. It's going to take you to Native Hemp's website. You're going to enter HOSO at checkout, and you're going to get a discount on top of that you are not going to believe. We can't even advertise it. It's such a big discount. Go over there. You're going to get a bottle of 1,800 milligram total cannabinoid hemp extract that is, it's a game changer. It's a game changer.
I love it. She's the woman, says Dennison. Dennison's such a peach, too.
I'm a big fan.
All of our people that we try to surround ourselves
I mean, Dennis
here,
is also but, more than anything, he's a
he really is. Come on, man. Don't, take your hand off the... I'm getting ready to...
What is he, then?
He's a real... Oh, he broke it.
Shit.
No, we just have fun here. All the people we try to surround ourselves with, those choices and still grow. Sorry about you. But James Carlton, go give him a shot at your insurance. Craig's always telling you, just give him a shot.
That's all you can
Give
do.
him a shot. He's the best in the biz with the customer service too. Lifetime Roofing.
Roof.
The Roof Boys. I don't know. Are they part of that commercial break or the other one?
They're another one.
Or any other? Yeah. But the Roof Boys are. You don't want to deal with them.
Lifetime Roofing just went out and gave my my cousin a little bid on her siding. I think.
Really?
Yeah, get him a little job there. So,
Good job.
they're amazing. Truman's and Soulard, things are about to open back up here in the land of milk and honey, and I can't wait to be able to get out and start supporting our friends like that. True Man's and Soulard's a total snooch fest, dude. It is a total clam bake.
Man, if you didn't know what the trim stitch was like before, then you gonna learn soon. You gonna
You're gonna
learn.
learn something today.
So is that all sponsors?
No, besides Sweet Leaf. Sweet Leaf Studios, Sweet Leaf giveaways, Sweet Leaf everything. Jason
For
and
real.
Sweet Leaf is amazing.
I mean, we're looking for other sponsors too, but Jason's like, if you have it, I want to sponsor it because the Hoosiers have been supporting him.
No doubt. They'll make the trip, which is awesome. I'm so appreciative of you guys making the trip down there and appreciative of him being open and allowing people to do that. We've got some medical cards we're going to figure out how to give away. And the cool thing about that is not only is your appointment going to be covered with the doc, but we're going to pick up the fee to the state too. So you can just be, we'll get a couple of those to give away. We're going to find the right people that really need them and make it happen, man.
And we got a lot of, where they're talking about rustic oils, our gal.
I love Rachel Crawford.
And then they're also Tyler Morgan, one of the gems of one of my favorite people on earth. No shit, like one of the most
He's
genuine,
awesome.
cool, different, unique guys I have ever met in my life. I don't meet many weirdos like me. And I know I keep fucking calling him weirdo every day.
In
I
all
call
the
him
best
weirdo.
ways, though.
It's nice to find someone like me who I'll find him staring at like a cool looking tree and I'll be on the other side of the tree looking at it going,
man, what a cool tree.
Fucking cool tree. And we'll kind of peek around at each other like, a fucking cool tree, am I right? And his Facebook follow is phenomenal. I'm not sure if it's on Skytrace Farms, but like the pictures, he's like up early in the morning.
He's always just talking about the beauty of nature. No doubt.
He's awesome.
No doubt, man. I'm
one
big
of my
fan.
favorite people.
No
dude.
doubt. Great
Well,
dude.
That's what we've done here,
Yeah.
Craig. Like, that's what I want to say. A big thank you to Rachel and Ricky at the Missouri Cannabis Network for
No doubt.
including us in on something they've built, and they've built something that we were trying to build in a very similar vein. Theirs grew so fast, it was hard to keep that real tight-knit community feel, but Rachel and Ricky are such good people that I'm telling everyone who might be listening to us from that portion of the network, they are awesome people. Like, you have nothing to worry about. Their hearts are in the right place. They will put you in the right position to be successful with cannabis or to get the right
Just
information.
be an informed patient.
Thank you. That's what it's all about for them.
Connecting caregivers.
Dude, they'll help you. And their group is huge. And it seems like, well, maybe how personal can this be? Oh, it can be as
still gets
personal as
personal.
you guys
Sure.
want it because the people who are running it are gems, man.
They got
Just
their
gems.
hearts and minds in the right place for sure, and they've grown it. They have grown it organically in the sense that they've had the same code, they've had the same mission, which was essentially to educate patients, the best that they possibly could.
For sure.
Also, try and highlight opportunities within the upcoming industry. Yep. Ricky's got legal grow experience, in legal states. He's a fountain of knowledge.
And if you haven't seen his emo picture, please
My
search his
God,
page.
dude.
He wore it
Dude, Ricky was a little fucking steamboat, dude. He was a little Nicky Six, but like even
now
cooler.
He's real unassuming.
Yeah, he's like, I'm just Ricky, man. But like back in the day, that motherfucker was a rock star.
For real, dude. I'm like, what?
Damn, Ricky.
He owned that time period. Yeah, we were a little bit behind that, but he was living that shit.
I was so much of a meathead. Like, I like my singers to have a nice baritone voice. I can't be listening to all these guys singing in an alto.
Buddy, when Justin Timberlake first came out, I go, this guy will never last. Chicks are into Burt Reynolds and Tom Selleck.
Duh. What happened?
Frank Sinatra
I'm a
singing with his
man.
thing.
Pour me a drink.
Punch my wife in the face. You know, good old days. And then, and then he's like, oh, and you're gonna get me back. And then I'm like, good luck, bud. And then it was Sploosh City. For all the broads.
And then all the dudes are dyeing their hair, little frosted tips. We all did it, bud. Frosted tips. That's why you haven't seen my senior pick arrive yet. Like it's that thing got scrubbed from the internet. All right, I got called Lance Bass one too many times.
I got called Lance Bass.
Oh,
These
go
girls. I
figure.
worked at a concession stand when I was like 15. Strong work ethic, first job. 15,
Sure, yeah. You're
Worked
a man.
there. Thank you.
Yeah.
They said I could eat all the Snickers I wanted to. I got real sick.
Yeah, sure. You do that once.
I did it once.
You do that one time.
Give me the keys to the kingdom, to the friggin' keys
No
to the
doubt.
Snicker kingdom. But these chicks kept coming up and they're like, can we get another water? And I'm like, yeah, sure. They're probably 12, 13, and they're like, my friends think you look just like Lance.
Been
Bass.
there, brother.
So I'm like, hey, do we still have that gun for intruders that we kept around? Because
Yeah.
I want my toe on the trigger at this point.
All right, guys. On top
need
of talking
another
about,
lighter. We lost
I
it.
got one, but
Okay.
on top of talking about cannabis, we also love to talk about psychedelics, and
right
so
we
I
do.
want to give you this week's edition of the psychedelic scrapbook.
I'm excited.
All right, Steve,
I had to turn the mics back on.
which
I
is
didn't know
great. It's fine.
Is that
Fucking-
thing not screwing over there?
No, it doesn't.
That's gross.
I
Screw
tried.
off.
Right. Screw off, fella.
Screw off.
So this week for the Psych Scrapbook, it kind of popped up a few times. People, have you seen this yet? Tag me a
It's popped
bunch in
up
it.
more
It's
than
really cool, man.
Midnight Gospel.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
In mainstream channels.
The title is more eye-catching, I suppose.
I suppose.
Have a good trip. Adventures in Psychedelics.
Great.
I went home and watched it after our show last week, and I enjoyed it. At first, it was so funny because like I had like this thing in me where I'm like, we know Shane's story. We know Shane Moss, friend of the show, psychedelic. I don't want to call him psychedelic comedian. I don't think he even likes to be called psychedelic comedian. He's a
care what he
comedian.
likes.
He has a science podcast. But he had the Have a Good Trip tour, and he's been known as a psychedelic comedian, and he has some unbelievable psychedelic content. And we got to know him a little bit in Michigan, and he was just we were just talking about like what it's like to pitch to Netflix, and is there anything kind of
No. My direct quote to him was, "Hey, buddy, when you getting your Netflix special?"
And he was like,
And he's like,
sore subject. Like it just drained the life out of him. So, and he basically said, they don't want to show anything nobody wants to show anything portraying drug use in a potentially positive light. The tides, they are a changing.
Yeah,
bud.
good.
And
good.
so my first reaction was like, oh man, that fucking the people that have been putting in the work, but I get it. This is a much better approach. So the more I sat with it, I'm like, okay, we've had people that talk about, how they've heard all of the great stuff that's surrounding psychedelics, all the news, health benefits, things like that, mental health benefits, but they're still scared to do it. And Rick Doblin said the most important thing that we can do outside of building a community is coming out of the psychedelic closet.
And, I get people being scared to do it because I get anxious when I know the substance is in someone's hand around me. Yeah. My senses all go to a heightened state. So it's really amazing to me, actually, that there haven't been many like heart attacks or, people just like, you are very, very, mushrooms are safer than cannabis in most studies, like when they correlate or figure it out scientifically.
When they match it up to hospital visits and things like that, like psilocybin is statistically much safer than even cannabis. Neither one of them really have an LD50. You'd have to, take an obscene amount of either to more than that. If you ate 1,000 pounds of anything, it would kill you because you can't eat 1,000 pounds. But that's what it would take, to potentially even start imagining a toxic dose.
Well, I want to talk about fear. Because I think fear dominates American society right now.
Always. It's a human society.
And I think freedom is being free from fear to a certain point. And you've had a couple great posts, especially after Midnight Gospel. I mean, the we are one concept that usually comes from psychedelics, and then extrapolating it out to like the Duncan Trussell episode 8, where it's he and his mom, he's a kid, then he births his mom, then they're a moon and a planet that are orbiting, but then they're going into a black hole, and maybe it starts all over again. Maybe no one knows. The thing you can get from psychedelics is a release of that fear, which it's crazy that the fear might not take it in the first place. And it's hard to understand what that feels like if you have never experienced it. Thinking about it, you're like, that sounds great, not to be anxious about shit, not to care what other people think, but to really not eradicate the fear, but to understand the fear and know that we are going to die.
Sure.
We wrap your head around that.
Death doesn't happen to life. It happens in life. Every single person gets to experience
that's home.
That. Yeah.
We're going home. Like I sometimes will, a buddy of mine told me a long time ago, he goes, think about all your favorite songs when they talk about home and replace home with like death. And I was like, okay. Well, I started listening to all these songs that talk about home. Home is such a common lyric. I'm like, oh, damn, that's changing my perspective on all these artists are like, I'm just here making beauty till I go home. Mm-hmm. That's the point of this part of the journey is, and I'm going to be scared of that. I'm going to not be the best I can be, which that goes to the thing you were saying later. That's some of the advice my dad gave me. Like, if you're going to do something, do it. Yeah. If you're going to do something, do it. If you're going to rollerblade, learn how to fucking skate backwards and shit. Yeah. I'm like, okay, I will. Don't just bottom line shit. Do it. Right. But to erase the fear and just to come to grips with it. And I think putting it with some mainstream comics on this show and showing them how, Lewis Black, I'm not even that big of a Lewis Black fan.
I'm actually a big Lewis Black fan.
I'm okay. Well, he makes me laugh sometimes, but I couldn't imagine watching a stand-up of him yelling.
He's got some of the great stand-ups.
I've never seen a stand-up.
Red, White, and Screwed is one of the... dude, I absolutely love Lewis Black.
I will check that out because I have not I've not checked that because I remember him on The Daily Show and I was like, I don't know if I could do a stand-up with this guy. He's great.
It's not always cranked up, and that's what you get in his stand-up is he works up to getting fucking fired up, which is always
good.
Totally. Yeah, he's got a couple of stand-up specials that are fucking
great story on that.
That's the whole deal, right? So the idea of coming out of the psychedelic closet. Me, as a psychedelic advocate, enthusiast, fan all around, and believer that it can be the greatest tool to improve the mental health of the globe, of the population on a global fucking scale. For me to see Sting and
he is
Sting.
Great.
I'm now, you know what I'm doing? I'm going down a Police rabbit hole because Sting won me.
Oh, Police have so
They're great. Yeah, they're a hell of a
songs,
triumvirate,
dude.
man. That's a lot of sound out of a 3-piece.
And their sound is like that almost got a little reggae in there. Like it's right
Totally.
up our alley.
Walking
like,
on the moon, yeah, no
dude,
doubt.
come on,
no
dude.
doubt, no doubt. So anyway, he gets super deep and talks about
He's the best on
the
there.
benefits of it. Like he was the perfect ambassador of psychedelics in this,
Yeah, and
right?
like Baby Boomer, you know what I mean?
Totally.
Like that
and then
era.
they go, then they go to Sarah Silverman. My own fucking opinions of Sarah Silverman aside, she resonates with a huge group of people. That's the whole point of this whole thing.
I like her.
There was the only person that I didn't quite enjoy, I have to remind myself that there's a crowd that he connects with, was A$AP Rocky. That dude's a fucking goober. But he had a story, and his story is going to connect with a demographic that's not mine. People that are listening to his music, that enjoy what he does, like whatever.
And I understand that, like when Kanye went through his whole I'm Yeezus,
Yeah.
everyone started hating him for it. And I'm like, he kind of has a point where everyone chooses these stars and treats them like God figures. They become God figures. So why shouldn't they talk like they are Christ-like and all these things? They have the I know the Beatles got in trouble when he said we're bigger than Jesus, or wasn't that something John said?
But he wasn't lying at the time.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So,
But he just said it at a time where, like right now, that
his
comment,
story was
that comment plays because there's enough. I think the population as a whole. I think the internet plays a big part in it. I think that people's idea of God isn't, quite as honed in on one idea. In America, it was like,
I'm gonna look
you're
up
going to
how old
believe
it
in a Judeo-Christian God at a pretty big clip back in the 60s when John Lennon's saying that. Now there's there's just such a wide delta of spiritual belief. going on in
A$AP
the
Rocky's
country.
31, and I mean he's doing big things in his world.
No doubt. That's the whole thing. That's what I remember.
It's the we talk about getting rid of the ego. It almost maybe enhanced his ego or just kept it the same as far as, because when you're at that level and you're like, I'm banging some broads and I got money and I'm doing whatever I want whenever I want to do it. What are psychedelics going to teach you a big lesson? But he fears this because he's like, I've seen people freak out.
You can tell. I guess that was my biggest beef with it, and I appreciate that he's hitting a group of people with psychedelic news. It's fine. That's great. I can celebrate that. But like a lot of how he was talking about it, I'm like, oh, well, you took acid for fun at a party and saw really wild shit, and also probably got a lot of positive out of it. But like, when you're speaking about the scary stuff, and I mean a majority of the time, there very well could be scary stuff, but a lot of that is mitigated by you creating a very safe place for you to do this work. We've talked about it before. Like, for me, I look at it like that's my date to the dance, and that's just what I'm doing that night. Like that particular medicine that I'm with. Like, if I want to actually commune with it and I want it to actually act as a medicine, then I need to give it my full attention and the respect that it deserves as a sentient fungi or a sentient plant brew, or
as a part of you that grew in a different piece of the universe
in a different
that formulated into that.
Exactly right. But there's also the other side of that community that's like, it's only for this. It's only for medicine. It's only for healing. And I'm also very sympathetic / empathetic to the people that just do them to have fun. And it's fun.
That's how I did it all the time. It
can be super fun, but there is another level to them that when we're talking about, studies that are being done and everything, all of these are in very controlled settings. And under, in a spiritual arena, there are people who possess skills that the greatest on a level of the best neurosurgeon in the world, there are people that work in a spiritual realm and an ethereal realm that can help move you through that space. And it's they both have their places, right? Like I also appreciate a person that smokes DMT for fun, because they're also some people are so aggressively atheistic that like they don't want that meaning attached to that thing, or they want to just break it down to chemical reactions in their brain. And that's also fine, because some of those people are able to unlock some crazy puzzles without having the God thing projected onto it. I use God as a big all-encompassing word when I talk about that space, because I don't know how to vocalize it. And as far as I know, just from my upbringing, the most powerful word in my entire lexicon is God, because God represents everything. God represents love. God represents fear. God represents all of these. Maybe not fear so much. I mean, he does. The fear of God, like the fear of mortality, the fear of our mortality, like all of those things are attached in this one all-encompassing thing. If God is omnipresent, then God gets to be a part of all of those things. And so a lot of times when I say it on my podcast or whatever, like I will almost be apologetic for it. Like I'm not trying to paint your idea or what someone told you what God was your whole life on the experience. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there's this thing that I've been to, that I've experienced, that I've touched, that I've smelled, that I've tasted, that I've felt all at the same time, and experienced with other senses that aren't available to me at this moment, that I don't know how to describe. That's God to me, and that's the best I can do as I explain all of these crazy little happenings.
Oh, buddy. Well, you talk about meditation music, songs, God being everything, and you're not talking about one God. God replaced songs, that Christian songs Catholic songs that we used to sing in church growing up. We're all singing about the same thing. We might say Jesus in our songs, but these awesome places we go and these magical things that happen, all the religions are singing about that. They may call it different things, but along the same lines, we're all just trying to explain the unexplainable.
Yep.
We're just giving it a few stories along the way.
No doubt.
Let me ask you this question, going back to what you were saying before. This is what I'm talking about with the CBD. I held that thought, stayed in your conversation the whole time.
Nice.
Had a new thought, and I can even come back to this one. Clinical settings with psychedelic use right now. We watched the movie The Sacred Science a while back, where they take 11 people out to the woods or the jungle in the Amazon, try to heal 8 to 11 different ailments out there.
Yeah, that was an early ayahuasca documentary.
Yeah, and they even did all plant medicine throughout the week. Like it was a whole, like one guy who had diabetes. They're like, you can go home in 5 days. They're like, we have cured your diabetes. You can go if you want to go home. You can.
Yeah.
And so I remember one of the guys saying, we're staying in huts in the jungle. Like these people from all around the world. And they're like, I thought I was staying at a hospital where I'm staying, getting treated. I have cancer.
Yeah.
I can't be in the jungle. I remember one of the medicine men. And of course, at this point, they're wearing, 1999 Tennessee Titans championship shirts and Adidas shoes. And
Z Cavaracci jeans.
There you go. So I'm like, okay, this is wild. They have all their medicines and stuff, and they tell the guy who's complaining about being in nature. He goes, oh, nature is the medicine.
Right.
Nature is the hospital. So the studies we're getting in America where we've seen it, they get you in a hospital room and these people do their absolute best to make the hospital room look like what we've done with the studio, trying to give it that feel.
It's warm.
Yeah.
You have a bed. You have a therapist on each side of you. You're wearing a mindfold.
You're still in a hospital. Yeah. How much trauma is in that space of the hospital? How much
that's fair, man.
Trauma?
Yeah.
How much would these experiments differ if, say, they took you to a park in a controlled setting where they sat you with the therapist and stuff and set up all the equipment and, like they can monitor shit, but there's nature all around you and it's better than, when they talk about holding space, when you hear people talk about holding space in that book, and we talk about Hamilton Souther all the time. He's been on Duncan Trussell and Aubrey Marcus, and he's done ayahuasca journeys. How many times did he say?
Oh, probably thousands.
Thousands.
Yeah.
And he talks about holding space, and Aubrey Marcus was helping him in a ceremony one time. And his mind kind of, he's listening to meditation music, he's helping. And Hamilton Souther goes, hey, Aubrey, I need you. And Aubrey's like, okay, I'm in it. And he's like, Aubrey, I need you. And so Aubrey said in his head, he's centering, and he's like, I need you to help me hold this space. He's centering himself, Aubrey Marcus, as he tells him, and he clicks in his head that he wasn't really present. He was just kind of feeling everything. Okay, well, now I'm present. Now I need to help my guy. And he said he looks at him, and it was just a shift in the eyes, and Hamilton Souther goes, okay, thank you. And, he could tell by looking at him.
Yeah.
He goes, if you had a camera on me, you would never be able to notice anything. He felt a shift in my energy to be able to be like, now you can help me hold space. Because Hamilton's out there, when things get heavy, he goes, I will sit there and I'll hold this area
you're
of
literally
space
holding,
for you. This is the safe spot. You anything outside of here, fine. Nuclear bombs, you got any control over that?
Right.
The one thing I have control with you right now is how I am feeling in this space. I'm holding it for you, baby.
I want to put you in a little bubble of love. And that's something that happens in
little
shared,
bubble of love. That's what Mike was trying to do.
Yeah, exactly.
COVID bubble of
love. That's what happens in ceremony space, whether it's ayahuasca or mushrooms or cactus. Yeah. Max Montrose talked about taking ibogaine, and he was hooked up to fucking monitors.
That's insane.
The whole time. Ibogaine.
If you haven't listened to that episode on the Missouri Psychedelic Podcast, holy crap!
Yeah,
the
ibogaine is a 20-hour trip. 20 hours, and it's one of the most intense. It actually has, ibogaine is not the safest of the psychedelics because it does have some cardiac, implications, I guess. Like your heart can race on it. People have absolutely, not told shaman or the hospitals that administer ibogaine that they're on different medicines, and ibogaine can, it's not one that you want to. First off, nobody is taking ibogaine recreationally. I mean, I'm sure somebody is, and they're crazy, but everybody who's been there, they're like, oh man,
it's a tough one.
Yeah, they're like
the documentaries I've seen.
Yeah, everybody's working through it.
It's like taking ayahuasca and being like, cool, let's go see Modest Yahoo.
Aubrey talked about it, and he was like, well, it was pretty much 9 hours of the most nauseating agony I could ever imagine, followed by 9 hours of the most ecstatic, orgasmic realization of this, awakening that happens. So it's like you got to pay on the front end, and on the back end, it's wild, But he talks about having to do that hooked up to monitors, like a cuff that's squeezing them every 15 minutes. He's like, he told them afterwards, he's like, maybe guys, just if you want a little input from, the patient, maybe just have the cuff maybe like once an hour, that's nice. Kind of let you know where you're at through the trip. Once in 15 minutes, that's brutal.
Yeah.
And you're hooked up to wires. That's tough.
I couldn't do it.
So anyway,
I got to be free when
have
I'm doing
a good
that
trip.
shit.
Adventures in Psychedelics on Netflix. There's some great stories from Ben Stiller. That's the thing. What the
Ben
value
Stiller,
in it is they took a lot of faces that you'll recognize from your living room, and they shared their experience to let you know that, hey, sometimes it's scary, but look, I'm here today. I'm telling it's a funny. Anthony Bourdain tells one of the most fun stories. They've just been filming this forever because a lot of this footage
is cool.
And Anthony Bourdain, I was late to the game on him a couple years ago, and I'm like, oh fuck. I remember I read something, and he's like, there were like 3 essential life skills, and he's like, everybody needs to roll a joint. Everybody needs to know how to roll a joint. It's an essential life skill. And I was like, oh, this guy's kind of on one. And then when he goes in to have a good trip, he's like,
Hunter S.
Thompson. And that's all they wanted to do. They wanted to have the suitcase like Hunter S. Thompson.
And they did.
Which is fucking intimidating. And he's like, oh, LSD? Yeah, sure. I've done it hundreds of times. Hundreds of times. Anyway, the point is, you will notice a bunch of these people that maybe you trust more than me and Steve about how beneficial psychedelics can be when taken the right way. But you'll also see some of the stories where they didn't quite take it so responsibly and made it out of it. But, now it's a funny story 20 years later. But at the time, some pretty heavy shit was going on.
Oh, yeah, dude.
It's pretty cool.
That's
It's some funny stories. Ben
man.
Stiller's story was hilarious. I could just picture Jerry Stiller on the other end of the line. Just a cute old. Jerry Stiller is my grandpa on my mom's side.
He's like, I smoked a cigarette once. Whole pack of
I know
cigarettes.
exactly what you're talking. I know exactly what you're. I smoked a Pall Mall. I smoked a Pall Mall, and Ben Stiller's like, "No, Dad, that's not. This is different. That's not what I'm talking about."
But then he's like, "You'll be okay," and he's like, "Man, that was really just good advice from your dad. Like, you're
gonna be all right."
Okay.
And you know what? A lot of times when things get scary, I've heard of different ways to kind of pull yourself out. Like a lot of times when things get dark in a trip, you'll notice your physical body is also kind of curling up, right?
No
So
doubt.
if you are having that, be conscious of it. Open yourself up. Stretch out.
Dude, on
it
DMT,
changes the absolute. It changes the game.
My DMT trip was totally. It let me know that if I was in an open position, that I would see the most beautiful things that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And then if I closed myself
You're
up,
gonna lose it.
It was like, ooh,
you
don't
wanna
do
go in the
that.
dark?
Don't do
You
that.
wanna go
and I
in
was
the
like,
dark?
I kind of do, but I don't. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
Because talking about bad trips and stuff, someone even meant Sting, I think, said, maybe that bad trip was just the
most of the bad trips
thing
turn out to be the more healing
thing
ones.
he needed.
No doubt.
Most at that time.
No doubt. I'm going to do an episode on that because I read an article a while ago that was just fascinating to me, and we talked about it. We just kind of went over it a little bit on the show probably a couple months ago, but the idea of fear tripping. And, I have, and I'm going to try and break this down. Maybe it'll be a little solo. I'll have someone on just to kind of hash out this idea, because I've told you many times, like I find myself envious sometimes of my friends who are really challenged by an ayahuasca trip or a mushroom trip or anything like that. Because for the most part,
purging is a good deal.
Yeah, and for the
real.
most part, I'm pretty happy in the space. Like I'm really
I
comfortable in the space. But when I have
somewhere, I'm like,
when I have a hard time though, the next day I'm like, okay, all right, I got a path. I got a path forward.
For sure.
When you have the good one, you're like, oh, shit's just good. Just keep going. You're fine. Yeah, you're good right here. This is great. Content, maybe just content. But you get a challenging one, and it jars you awake. And so there's this group of people that are into the idea of fear tripping, and they're putting themselves in it's scary scenes and things like. And I was like,
that's too much.
Like my brain went to a place, and I'm like, oh. Okay. Like I instantly understood it though.
For sure.
I instantly understood it. Whether or not I'm ready to make that trip is a different, and the chemical would definitely be a contributing factor as to, which one I'm going to do. But I see the idea in it. But buddy, we got a little bonus. This is breaking news. This is breaking psychedelic news. So I think we should get to it real quick. What do you think?
I do. Was that the maps thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to get to this. I was hoping we would.
This fucker.
Same one again.
It's not doing it. All right, click it. You might have. Oh, it's because the scene's duplicated. You'll have to change it. Fuck, man. That's all right. I can just talk about it. It's fine. I'll just talk about it. Are the mics are on? Yeah, fuck, man. Fuck! Jesus, God, fuck!
Thank you. You get it. You fucking
Whatever. God damn it. Listen, whatever.
See, I let Craig put the show together. I don't know.
Hey guys, breaking news. This is actually
We don't have mic here.
This is awesome.
We
You're
missed
not
Mike.
missing all that much. I had a little different song and everything for you. It's fine. This is big breaking news from Matt.
This is huge.
This is immense.
From our
probably the biggest breaking psychedelic news we've ever had.
No,
so,
I'm like, I know we kind of fucking. I say it's the best story or best takeover. This is
substantial.
Thank you.
Interim analysis shows at least 90% chance of statistically significant difference in PTSD symptoms after MDMA-assisted psychotherapy. An independent data monitoring committee has reviewed data from MAP's ongoing Phase 3 clinical trial. The results are the strongest confirmation that an interim analysis can provide. MAPS and the Psychedelic Science Funders Collaborative have launched the Capstone Fund to raise the $30 million needed to complete the research and make MDMA a medicine. So essentially, with this analysis of the data from the first of its 2 Phase 3 clinical trials, this is the best case scenario for any interim analysis and suggests MAPS research program is on track for approval by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. The analysis is conducted by an independent data monitoring committee, which reviewed the results from the first 60 out of 100 participants. The analysis revealed a 90% or greater probability that the trial will detect statistically significant results when all participants have been treated.
90?
And that the trial will not require additional participants beyond the first 100. So it's not going to get dragged out. They're not going to have to do this again, assuming they stay the course.
Well, thank God.
No doubt.
90%?
Yeah. The interim analysis was approved by the FDA as part of MAP's statistical analysis plan approved. That's fucking a weird sentence. The results strongly suggest the FDA made the right decision in granting MAPS both, 1, breakthrough therapy designation for MDMA-assisted psychotherapy, which accelerates the clinical trial process and acknowledges MDMA-assisted psychotherapy as a potentially significant advance over currently available treatments for PTSD, and 2, expanded access, which will allow some patients early access to MDMA-assisted psychotherapy.
We talk about PTSD
No doubt.
often.
Yes.
I think a lot of the symptoms are same just from people. I think talking about PTSD, a lot of us suffer from PTSD. It just has a name for it where it's like, oh, you've been to Iraq? Now you got it. No. A lot of people just have fucking trauma in their life. We talk about trauma being the source of it. This is huge news.
It's big, man.
If I'm going to give some personal anecdotal information from a long time ago, but MDMA, the way it can open up your heart and allow you to have non-judgmental, non-fearful conversations with not only yourself, but also your deepest loved ones that maybe you're like, I could never say this. You both eat a little bit of MDMA, administer some MDMA. Oh, you can look
and
each other
receive it. And receive it.
Yes, and you go, oh, I feel where you're coming from.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. Now hear what I say.
Yeah, it peels that shield off.
Oh, does it ever,
it does,
man?
For sure. And that's something that I've come to realize because it's not my favorite. I've said that many times, but primarily because I never get to take it or have really taken it with ceremony. I've never communed with the medicine, which is on me.
Yeah, it's
because
way
I
different taking it by
understand that.
yourself.
I understand that has to happen with all. Like I've had that communication with different ones, and certain ones speak to me better. But like
it's a great nature.
So a lot of people
too.
think of it as a pro-social drug, and it is in the sense that you share. However, for me, in my experience, the bigger a room is, the more people that potentially are on it, it has the opposite effect for me. And that's I think important, right? Like I think it's important to tell because MAPS is not the FDA is not just approving MDMA. The FDA is approving MDMA assisted psychotherapy. The therapy is a crucial part of it.
Sure.
And so where a lot of people are like, oh man, everybody feels good, like hugging on each other.
Yeah.
A lot of times when I'm on it, my bubble is like, for some reason, like it gets to be too much. It's like sensory overload. It's the methamphetamine part of MDMA.
Well,
Right?
it's
it's a very nervous energy.
Fear and Loathing has a couple scenes that sum it up perfectly on LSD, where it's like it's chaos and it's more chaos coming, and I kind of don't understand all the chaos that's happening. You're not tripping, but I understand.
Yeah.
I always need a little place to go be by myself. That's why I like driving everywhere. I can go out to my car if I fucking want to. I can go
sit in the car,
sit there for 5 seconds, just to zone out.
I get it.
But ceremonial. Taking of it, yes, is awesome because when you can even take it with like 1-2 other people,
sure,
and just sit there
No
and
doubt.
everyone just relaxes and listens to music.
Yep, totally.
And, I mean, it's a full-on enhancer. And then having a conversation with love and empathy and just being like, oh, I never thought about that.
It was developed as a relationship tool.
I know. Yeah.
And so I just
That's
to kind
cool,
of
man.
build on it a little bit
That is
more,
super
in the pharmaceutical drug development community, this is what you dream about, says our buddy Ricky Dobb. Ricky Dobb.
Oh, what does he say?
He said, in the pharmaceutical drug development community, this is what you dream about. The results of the interim analysis of MAP's pivotal first phase 3 trial are the most powerful evidence yet that MDMA-assisted psychotherapy could help transform the lives of people suffering from PTSD. We've trained 70 new therapists to work on phase 3, so these results also show that the treatment is scalable, eventually to tens of thousands of therapists worldwide. And then let's see here. There was the approval of MDMA-assisted psychotherapy would be a catalytic event that brings psychedelic medicine into the mainstream. That's why we're excited to partner with MAPS in creating the Capstone Fund. This is from Joe Green, who is one of the founders of Psychedelic Science Funders Collaborative. So they launched a $30 million Capstone Fund. They've already secured the first $12 million. So almost halfway there to bring this thing to market. MAPS is continuing its phase 3. There was something they said here about, here we go. PTSD affects millions and soon to be millions more due to the global trauma of the COVID-19 pandemic. This includes victims of the disease and their families, healthcare and emergency service professionals, as well as frontline workers who risk their lives to provide essential services. So, I mean, that's something that our buddy Matt Kale from Shock to Awe, friend of the Turner family, a really compelling story. That guy has seen some shit. If you haven't seen From Shock to Awe, it is worth It's worth renting and checking out. It is a captivating story of not just two veterans getting their life back, working to get their life back through psychedelics, but also their spouses. It's really fucking awesome. And Matt, when he was talking at the Cannabis Industry Showcase in Kansas City, where we got a chance to meet him and hang out with him, and he's the cut of my jib, man. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. And he said, hey, trauma, veterans, we're always talking about veterans with PTSD, first responders with PTSD, but all of us have trauma. Yeah. And Gabor Mate says that trauma is the real gateway drug.
I know.
Everybody, everybody's experienced trauma. It's traumatic to be human. And so that highlights a really good point, man. Like, on top of all of these people returning from war, on top of our emergency workers, on top of all that, we now have a global population who knows what it's like to have been quarantined and shut off.
Yeah.
Have, not to turn it into that, but have very simple civil liberties taken away from them, and how they react to it, how they've been able to provide for their family or not provide for their family. Like, this is going to be, if they can show that it helps PTSD and all of these veterans and all of these other people, and he's saying that it's scalable to tens of thousands of therapists, if not more. This is a game changer. This is what I'm talking about when I say psychedelics
this is like a scooter
in general.
in a rollerblading journey.
Yeah, we secured our first 3,000.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I look at it.
It's a game.
They're just a little bit of ahead. They secured their first 12 million. We secured our first 3,000.
And there was a beautiful story from Shock to Awe about MDMA. One of the most beautiful stories I've ever heard about.
That's the deal.
A female soldier returning from war, and she was like cold with her kids, kind of, and couldn't find that love in her heart.
Yeah.
And she goes and has a conversation with the warrior woman inside of herself. And the warrior woman has a blindfold, is sitting there with a therapist, and she's able to tell the warrior soldier part of herself, tells her that it's okay. I did my job. Now let this mother angelic character start taking over. Let the mama inside of you take over. Let Mama Bear take over. The soldier woman, she's okay.
Yep.
This hardened woman, put her away. You have lived that life. Good. And she was transformed from that
No
crap.
doubt. No doubt.
And goodness.
No doubt. And it
was
also
awesome.
highlights how difficult it is. We talk about soldiers all the time. We don't often talk about the spouses and the people who they left at a baseline normal. Okay? This was their normal. They went away, they experienced this thing that they don't ever want to relive again and haunts them for the rest of their days. And then they come back, and the person who left you at this normal, they missed a big chunk in your story that now changes how you react to it. So the people that you love the most might not look anything like the people that you love the most. And so as much as we talk about the people suffering from PTSD, very rarely are we talking about the PTSD that comes as a result of living around somebody with PTSD.
Huge.
And that's why MDMA is huge. And it's also something that they're petitioning for with all of their psychedelic studies is like, okay, one of the next phases is going to be introducing couples therapy. If they can show that this is viable, okay, now let's show dude, if you have an experience with it and with your partner, then you understand what it is. And it's the nice thing about MDMA, I would say, if somebody was worried about bad trips or anything like that, is MDMA. It's not a classic psychedelic, but it is considered a psychedelic that is not going to warp your brain. Like it's not
put holes in your brain.
But I mean, it's not going to bend your
Remember
reality.
Those pictures?
Yeah,
puts holes in your.
That is a whole fucking ordeal. You guys remember the brain scans, the
go,
slides where they were like,
holes?
if you take ecstasy, it'll take ice cream scoops out of your brain.
They're like, anyone who has a brain like that would be brain dead.
Yeah, like you can't scoop any part of the brain out. That doesn't work like that.
Do that.
But to people that would be afraid of like the scary trips, MDMA does not really have that attached to it.
I've never.
It doesn't. It's a body.
The most I've been worried about is like, have I drank too much water? I'm like,
you don't want to overhydrate.
Yeah, you don't want to overhydrate.
Which is, that's something that you need to know. Like if you're at a rave or something, and it gets very hot, like you do need to watch that you're not overheating, and you need to watch that you're not
downing
you
too
know,
much water.
drinking too much water and getting, what is it, hydrosis? Yeah,
No,
something like that.
that's not it.
Hydroxia?
Hydroxia, yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah.
It's
Anyway.
Hydraxia.
Dude, look at us go. Fucking talking science that we don't fucking know.
All right, that was a really good psychedelic scrapbook. Should we hit him with the commercial break too?
Yeah,
Come
I
back
think
with our
so. I
streaming
think it's
picks, and
yeah.
then
Maybe we'll make. You want to make up another song tonight? I don't know.
We're gonna end the show with another song.
We
Give
tried
us
it
some
last
topics.
week. You guys come up with a topic. I can't promise it'll be good, but it'll
No,
be
it
fun.
won't be good, but
It'll be
we'll
fun.
come up with something. We will listen. This is the only way we get better at stupid stuff like this. We call it the Wayne Brady minute.
Before we go to you know what, we'll do that after the commercial break.
do?
We're
What
gonna do
are
it
you
after. I
gonna
got a little.
Okay.
I got a little. We'll do it after we come back from break.
Cool, sounds good to me.
Guys, stick around. Check out our sponsor stuff. Let us know what would be a good idea for a commercial. Maybe we'll make it. We'll probably disregard your opinion altogether.
Hey girl, where you wanna go?
I don't care, I just love you.
Are you hungry? Do you wanna get something to eat?
I don't care, I'm kinda hungry.
Well, what sounds good?
Anything sounds good, you pick.
How about some Mexican?
No, I had that for lunch yesterday.
How about we get some Italian food?
Ew.
Okay, now you're not saying anything and just giving me a
want
look.
something delicious.
What does that even mean?
I want to sit outside.
Applebee's, son?
Applebee's
No,
is
Applebee's.
gross.
Applebee's
I'm not
is
eating
good.
Applebee's.
I don't know why you're always
Applebee's
hating
fries
on
are
Applebee's.
disgusting.
Applebee's is one of
They're
my favorite darn
gross.
places to go ever.
I'm not eating Applebee's.
I wanna go to Truman's. Let's go to Truman's. Soulard, go to Truman's. I wanna go to Truman's. In Soulard, take me to Truman's. We agree on Truman's. I love Truman's. Soulard, I love Truman's. Soulard. Truman, 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 Truman's and Soulard, a place we can all agree upon.
James Carlton. James Carlton. James Carlton. You gotta get your insurance. Gotta get that State Farm insurance.
You think you found the best insurance agent in the game? Well, I got news for you. I did, and it's James Carlton. State Farm. CarltonInsurance.net.
961-4800.
Hey everybody, I'm just making this post as a little public service announcement. I recently had a roof leak and I got online and called the #RoofBoys. They showed up and they didn't have a truck. They came out of the woods near my home, which was odd. When they showed up, I'm pretty sure they were children. The little one was aggressive. He was beating on my garage. He was shirtless and had a tattoo that said Bug Life. And the older one didn't have a ladder and said he would climb my roof by getting on the pillar, and he was slapping a spatula around, which I don't know what a spatula does for roofing. So if you want a reputable roofer, I recommend you go to Lifetime Roofing and Renovation, located in Webster Grove. They've been around since 2005, and they're grown men.
Hey guys, it's me, Kippy the Crazy Koala Bear, and I'm here to tell you about James Carlton Insurance.
Quiet down.
It's a
Quiet down, listen to Kippy.
grown-ups need insurance, and Uncle James can help.
Right on.
Grown-ups need insurance. He's got the best reviews on Yelp. Grown-ups need insurance if they want to protect their house.
Yes, sir.
Grown-ups need insurance if they want to properly bury a spouse.
That's a bit morbid.
Grown-ups need insurance if they drive a truck.
Okay.
Grown-ups need insurance just so they don't get...
Whoa, Kippy, you can't.
Well, I was just
no,
going to
you
say
cannot.
get in trouble.
Okay, well, it
you
sounded
don't
like you
wanna
were going
get
to
in trouble.
say something else. James Carlton, State Farm Insurance. You can find him online at carltoninsurance.net, or you can call him at 314-961-4800.
That way they don't get...
Thank you. Now, dang it, now I want some cheese curds, scrimps, and a Cuban. Truman's. Good night and morning on the
baby, grow, baby.
sunrise. Good night and morning on the sunrise. Peace. Of course, Tyler Morgan said something that cool. And then our fans have just been talking to each other. Y'all, I'm going to get this man in bed. Ooh, okay, Crystal Rachel Crawford. Love y'all so much. She's the best. Love you too. LOL, Gracie Jones. This is my favorite commercial. Great. Oh, Diane is on. Now it's a party because Diane got her titties out. Great job yesterday on your blades, fella. Knocked it out of the park for Aubrey Strong. Proud to be your friend.
I'm proud to be yours.
Oh, we love
me
Diane
some Diane Doggendorf.
Greg, I've been doing something I used to do it a while ago.
You sure
I've been
have.
Back in the swing of things. Let me give you guys a taste of it.
It's time for the Steven Internet Show. It's time to have a really good time.
Good look.
It's time for the Steven Internet Show.
That's
Can
the
you
best look.
be my friend?
Gay frogs guy.
Won't you be my friend? Hi, welcome to the Steven Internet Show. I hope you will enjoy it. We can be best friends.
I'm just a guy looking for friendship. And that show, I'm going to cover artificial intelligence, maybe do some cannabis review stuff on there. Kind of prep for the show just to get our numbers up at night.
There was a time when we had a nice little bookend to our days. Me on the way in, which it'll be about 26 days before I can do that again.
Really? Nipples.
Whatever, man.
Swipples.
Swipples. Sweet nipples,
That's
bro.
Mike's edition.
Sweet nipples. Bro.
Swipples.
I'm making Swipple shirts. I'm making Mike a Swipple shirt.
God, that's so good.
Dude, I love that you bring it back. There was a time when I was getting at when you were rocking the Steven Internet Show, and we had the late night crew that'd be lying in bed with their significant other,
watching that
just
stupid
giggling it up, and you're just acting a damn fool, and it was the fucking best, man. And I'm
late
so
night
glad
crew.
to have it back, man. It's our
I
own
miss your
little-
lives in the morning.
I know. You know what? I realize
for
that I
a
haven't
drive.
had that outlet.
Just go for a ride.
I will in 26 days when I can do a live again.
I'm just saying, drive around your neighborhood or something.
I'm banned, Steve.
Oh, that's why. He was. Well, how'd you get banned again?
Okay, it's a stupid story. Okay, but I have
enjoy it so much.
anymore. I have not been sharing like anything too racy because I just can't take the chance, bud.
you
We're
can't.
running groups now. We got all kinds of stuff going on.
Different things going
I
on.
like to share psychedelic content through the business page. So the other day, I wanted to make a cool little photo with the 3D photo option thing, and I took I didn't know. I thought maybe you could like set a focal point on the 3D photo. Okay. So I put the picture that Seth made of us with all of us with our third eyes, right? And I was going to have one of the focal points being the third eye, so that like that was coming out and everything was kind of set in the background. So that didn't quite work all that well. And I'm like, man, I got to have a photo that would look really cool in 3D. So I'm just cycling. I'm literally cycling through photos, and I have a photo of the first lady naked on my phone. Okay, fair enough. It's a well. Whatever. We won't go into what it is. It's an inside joke. Okay. It's an inside joke between me and my betrothed. And so I'm cycling through. That one cycles in. Okay. I have not posted it. I did not post it. I'm cycling through photos. when it loaded that photo into the 3D photo deal, bam, your account's been banned for 30 days. Honest fucking mistake this time, bud. Honest fucking mistake this time. Other times, you want to get mad at me for Pinocchio's nose being up.
The ball gag was the most innocuous thing.
That's ridiculous. They got a hard on for it. It's fucking ridiculous. It was a bust photo. Like you can't. This right here is sexual content. A picture of a person with a ball gag in their mouth, like that's sexual content. It was literally in response to being gagged on Facebook. Like
that's why. They're watching your ass, says Dennison Collard.
They're watching my ass. Anyway, whatever. I'm banned for 26 more days. Whatever.
We got Netflix coming up. Netflix or streaming
yeah, you
picks?
want to play some streaming picks?
Yeah,
of the week?
let me get my gal.
Okay, you go ahead and do that. We were talking about like some. Well, I will tell you. I'm going to tell you that you guys check out Sweet Leaf Emporium because we're going to be raffling off this pipe here for Nolan's tribe of Warriors for Cannabis. And we are currently raffling off this $5 a whack. Okay, this pipe, this Brian Clark piece with this amazing little Fibonacci sequence there. And,
these are
they're dope.
They're coolest pipes in the place that I've ever seen. No shit.
Yeah.
Not bullshitting. That is the coolest design.
It's neat, man.
Of a pipe that I've ever seen. I'm not bullshitting. And that rig that
how do they do it?
How does he
How
do
they
that?
do it?
How does he do that?
It's amazing. It's amazing. Anyway, for every $5 that you donate to the campaign, okay, you're going to get a chance at winning that pipe. Put in $20, you got 4 chances. That's how it works.
They're watching your RSS feed.
Probably. They're watching whatever. It doesn't matter.
All right.
It doesn't matter. Point is, if you donate that money is going towards K9 for camo, service dogs being provided to veterans at no cost, and we just learned that it cost 5 figures to raise one of those dogs. We like movies. We like movies.
Let's do it one more time.
We like movies. One more time. We like movies. So do you. We like internet. So do we. It's the streaming picks of the week. It's the streaming picks of the week. It's the streaming picks of the week. We like the internet too. What are you watching this week, Steve-O?
I watched the, insert joke here. I watched The Wrong Missy.
Okay.
And I didn't know if I was going out on a limb saying this when I was watching it, but it is the best female lead. She steals the show. Is kind of from David Spade's perspective, but she's the lead of this movie. Lauren Lapkus.
She's hilarious. I loved her in The Goods as the flight attendant.
That's not her.
The main chick from Wrong Missy?
Yes, that's not her. That's a different chick. That is the chick from
No,
Gravity
that's
Falls.
her.
No, I swear to God.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I just saw it in passing.
Her name will come to me. But yeah, that's the chick. Kind of same type of style.
I thought she looks Are you sure?
I'm 1,000,000%.
Oh, you're right.
What's her name? But anyway, it's called The Wrong Missy. It's on Netflix. It's a Happy Madison production. It's not reinventing the wheel by any means necessary. It's just sometimes when they throw a female lead comedy in your face, it's like, we better get super raunchy because that's kind of what guys do, and I got to talk about this.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know. Don't push it down my throat. Like, just be funny.
Yeah,
I don't care what it is.
Sure.
Like, just be funny. And I feel like it's a lot of when Will Ferrell was in his heyday, I feel like the director, Adam McKay, was like, Will,
Ad-lib.
here's the scene.
Yeah.
Do what you got to do,
I think that's why what made Anchorman great was how many of the scenes.
Sure. And
Because
Paul
you're sitting
Rudd
at a
being
desk.
able to do it.
You're sitting at a desk, you
So
know,
good.
and you can just.
Here's
we've
the
done
idea.
before. We clip it with by Battlehawk. You
Exactly.
say a bunch of random shit, clip it down. You got yourself
And
a funny,
it's
hilarious
and it's
scene.
beautiful. So anyway, the performance she delivers is top notch.
I'll check it out.
I was laughing out loud. And granted, I'm coming off the high of the Blade Down Broadway
Sure, yeah,
too. Because like Jenny was like, this chick's annoying, but she had to work the next day, and you know how that gets. You know,
Sure,
like,
yeah.
So maybe different perspectives, different things. I thought it was, and David Spade just stays out of the way.
I like Spade.
Just does little.
That's what Spade does best.
Swardson.
Spade will always be great in a supporting role.
And Rob Schneider does the exact thing he does in every movie.
It's great.
He plays a guy who's in it for a total
Drop in
of
for
5 minutes, has
Goofy
a couple
shit.
"you can do it" type lines, and he's out.
That's where those guys are living, man. That was their role on SNL.
How funny was his stand-up before Sandler's?
Snyder? I remember like
He had
not
one
having
joke.
any expectations
What was that one
for it.
joke? Remember, he had that fucking great one that he said about either his family or his kids or something.
Oh, dude, he had a couple.
Kevin James, and making millions of dollars or
Yes.
whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
I won't ruin it for you because I can't remember it.
Worth
but-
$100 million. Anyway, yeah, no doubt. Like,
he was
just-
good. He was good. Rob Schneider's good, and in this movie, plays his role.
It's
perfectly.
great. Like and Spade's where Spade needs to be is Spade is your smartass. Spade's a world-class smartass, and so he's got to have something to play off of to have a smartass quip.
Yes,
but he can't have the leading.
He is the lead in this.
as good.
Joe
the best
Dirt's
he's ever,
phenomenal.
Oh, you're right. You're right. He was fucking.
Dirt's
He was
phenomenal.
fucking killer. You're right. I
He
totally
can carry
discount
it
that.
if he needs
He
to.
can. You're right.
Okay.
You're right.
Okay.
Yeah, no doubt.
Mark this fucking date down.
Better do it quick, bud.
Hey, bud.
Hey, bud.
Oh shit! All right, what you been watching, buddy?
This is I loved it.
Well,
it
the
was
art
awesome.
of
No. Well, I mean,
influence
kind
of
of.
the
I guess it
1300s.
is kind of an art documentary, but it's on Netflix. It's awesome. L.A. Originals, and so
Yeah, I've
it,
seen
you
a
know
bunch
it
of-
basically covers Chicano culture in East L.A. and how Mr. Cartoon, who's a world famous tattoo artist, and Estevan. Oh fuck yeah! I'm gonna get shot
Esteban.
now. Estevan. Anyway, Steve-O is what they call it. He was like, this dude just documented everything. He photographed everything, and so
That's
it was the
awesome.
two of them. And Cartoon was just this pretty good artist. He was doing some tagging and stuff like that. And when he figured out the tattoo gun, like, and they were showing like anybody who's anybody in hip hop, they're like, I go to Mr. Cartoon.
Yeah.
He did, he did everybody.
That was cool on the trailer, seeing
Snoop
that.
Dogg was
Yeah.
saying like everything on my body is Mr. Cartoon. Like, so, but I've always, I don't know what it is. Maybe because my mom worked in like a Mexican restaurant when I was a kid, and there was this little old lady, Maria, that was 90 years old, and she would roll tamales in the basement. So I'd go down there and sit with Maria while she'd roll tamales. Dude, I have always been like crazy about Mexican culture and
I love
Chicano
it.
culture.
Love it.
Pachulos, again, the whole
Yeah.
Cholo culture. Like, that shit has always been my jam,
You
and
joined MS-13 for.
I did.
for
I
a
did.
few
I had my
months.
I had the tattoos on my face that covered most of it. I had them lasered off. That's what I got.
Cool.
This explains a
You were
lot, doesn't
heavy
it?
makeup.
Yeah.
Heavy makeup.
But it really does. Like, what's interesting, what's awesome is they kind of tell the history. These dudes, it was inspiring to me because these dudes they put their studio, they put their headquarters on the fucking dirtiest, on Skid Row. They had it on Skid Row in the fucking hood, man. And they were from the neighborhood. They took care of the homeless people. They whenever they had. But I was sitting there
awesome.
thinking about how we were walking around our old neighborhoods the other day, and we're always talking about where are we putting a studio, and we're always trying to figure this out. And we're like, well, we should put it here. It's up and coming. Fuck that. I want to be the thing that's up and coming in the neighborhood. I want to be the thing that people build around. If we're gonna do something, like let's fucking do it. And like to see those guys did it, and it like the level of like the world's some of the world's most elite were traveling to the skeeziest part of Skid Row to go hang out at fucking Mr. Cartoon and Steve-O's place.
Damn.
And dude, it's just all of the like if you can think of like think of some cholo tattoos where it's like a pretty gal, but she might have clown makeup on, or like the jesters and things like that. Like that's all Mr. Cartoon. That was his style. He made it up, and like it's been knocked off a million fucking times since then. And like
damn.
fucking L.A. That whole thing came from Steve-O. He filmed this fucking Latina gangster chick. He's shooting these pictures, and she just throws up to L.A. and he zoomed in on that. It's been copied by a million people. H&M, like they ripped off a bunch of their art and shit. Like.
Of course,
It was just really cool, man, to see like the culture before it was the culture. And there's like that to me is super empowering. Like, fads are easy to fall into, but when you find people that are just fucking cool because that's who they are, it's their expression, and I think it's something that should be encouraged to everybody. I think a lot of us lose our artistic. We're like, I'm not an artist, or we like. But as a kid, if you had some crayons and a white piece of paper. You were coming up with something.
Dude, if you had a nice piece of paper too, it's like a game changer. You're like, I'm really gonna do something.
Yeah, it's got a nice little feel to it. A little you get a canvas. Oh my! The point is that a lot of people get an idea because of what is sold, like in the mainstream of what is viable and what is good. And I actually listen to this thing with these Shipibo shamans talking about how one of the things that we're all disconnected with in the Western world is how important it is to sing through. We all get this idea in the Western world that if you're not a good singer, you shouldn't sing. And like it's crazy. It feels so good to sing. It feels so good to put something out there. And so when I see these dudes, like gangsters, dude, like guys that have hung out with the fucking outlaws forever, like talking about all their friends that have been shot in the streets and dudes that they've tattooed, and like these dudes were basically the reason that Cypress Hill, like Cypress Hill and Everlast, like you can think of album covers of anything like that, hip hop records where it's got like that kind of old English font, but not quite like what still West Coast. That's Mr. Cartoon made all that shit, dude. His imprint is on so much of our pop culture. And it's so big, and he's traveled the world to do these tattoos. And dude, we're talking about $50,000 a tattoo. Like, this dude is commanding some serious bucks, and he's turned it into this huge fucking empire. So much so that, like, you go to Japan, and the cholo culture in Japan is insane. Like, these dudes dress like cholos. You can tell they're not Mexican, but they're trying to be Chicano, man, for sure. Like, they've got the fucking
I gotta check this
low.
out.
It's badass, dude. It's if anything, it's just cool to see how a lot of different people are connected, and they're like, man, a lot of times these concerts that we would do kind of all over, it was just really what it was is people were coming to get tattooed by Joker, and they just put together a bill. Like, okay, this guy wants to get tatted, this guy wants to get tatted, this guy wants to get tatted. Okay, we got a concert. And dude's backstage, right off the stage, just tatting dudes up.
That's what Clay Stalling said. Cartoon tatted all the OG rappers before they even went on stage.
For sure.
So true. I can't carry a note in a bucket, but love to sing.
Yeah, man, it feels good. Anyway,
If I'm feeling poopy, I'll just start belting out something on the guitar.
You're good about that. You know when the room needs it too.
Does the room need it now? Are we going to shut things down? We good? We're going to...
I don't know. You want to try and make a song up? Did they give us a topic?
They didn't give us any topics. Unless you guys want to give us a topic real quick. We can
right
talk about
now.
Our sponsors.
What's your topic?
We'll talk about our sponsors.
James Carlton, State Farm. Guys, carltoninsurance.net. It doesn't cost you $1 to just have a conversation, and it might save you hundreds or thousands. It doesn't cost you anything to potentially save thousands. Give him a shot. If he can't help you, he's not going to put a hard sell on you. He's literally going to tell you, hey, I can't beat where you're at right now. But you know what he will do? When your rates drop, when he thinks he can do better, he's going to give you a call. He's going to say, hey, I think I can save you some money now.
It's what he did for me.
That's the kind of service that James Carlton State Farm is going to give you. Lifetime roofing and renovation.
Roof. Sorry, I was going like
that's
this.
No big deal.
Roofy roof.
That's how it's supposed to be anyway.
They do amazing exterior work. They make sure that they're giving back to the community. They've employed so many Hoosiers. They've been a part of this from the get, and it's been fucking awesome. Native hemp extract.
Inside of me.
Inside of me.
Inside of me.
Inside of me.
It's delicious.
If you go to HoosierSophisticate.com and you click on the Native Hemp Extract tab, you're going to be able to click on that. It's going to take you to a website. When you enter HOSO at checkout, you're going to save a bunch of fucking money.
Bananas. Our topic's bananas.
Of fucking money.
This song's going to be about bananas.
All right. I'm singing about bananas. Sweet Leaf Emporium.
Sweet Leaf.
Sweet Leaf. Sweet Leaf.
More power. Tim the Tool Man.
Sweet Leaf Emporium. They're helping people out. You can go in there. If you're in the Farmington area, you can go in there. You can get your card at any time. They've got unbelievable deals on glass. Jason's just trying to help out the community. He wants to see you. He wants to see you. They've got a great little staff down there, and they've got a selection of just cool stuff. Clothes. Like the whole one section. The geodes and shit they have are amazing, dude.
The geodes.
The geodes are amazing.
Let me hear about a little bit of geodes, man. A mother geodes.
I fucking love the bleep, man.
It's so good.
I just can't enough of it.
Down.
It's awesome, dude. Sweet Leaf Emporium. And I went and stood outside of his location in Festus. It's just down the road from me. It's tucked back in there a little bit. Right in front of Lowe's there when you turn off at A. Oh, buddy. Sweet Leaf Emporium, guys. If you need any glass, you need a card, you need
anything.
You just need some friends. Need info. Sweet Leaf Emporium is going to help you out. And then True Mans and Soulard, dude.
And True MCH.
Muff.
True Bananas.
Muff Mania.
Okay. Muff Mania. Oh man, you'll get your gooch licked there. That's for sure. That should be their new
Truman's and Soulard. You'll get your gooch licked.
That's not
bad. Not Brad. Maybe throw that in there. I've had a blast, man. It was a fun show tonight. I think
we got a lot of topics.
Sing a little song about nanners.
We got bananas and bongs. We could sing a song.
Bananas and bongs?
Yeah, bananas and bongs.
Oh, that's alliterative. I like that.
All right, I'll hit them off. And
you just figure it out, and I'll see where I fit in. You're the man here.
I know. Thank you. There we go. Oh, I like bananas.
And bongs.
And bananas.
And bongs.
That's the refrain. Oh, and I like bananas.
And bongs.
And bananas.
And bongs.
And bananas.
And bongs.
I'll take the first verse. Bananas go down my gullet so sweet, just like some of that tubular meat. But I like to take hits from the bone, and if that makes me right, then I don't want to be wrong. That didn't make any sense, right? Banana.
And bongs.
Bananas.
And bongs. Bananas and bongs. Bananas and bongs. So one time I got a banana from the marketplace.
Okay.
I was able to put it right down my open face.
Delicious.
I didn't even need to take a bite. I'll suck this thing for the rest of my life.
Banana.
And bonks. And bonks. Bananas and bonks. Bananas and bong songs.
I stuck a banana in a bone. I was right all along. You can suck a banana right through a bone. And I sucked it real good. And I sucked it real hard. And then I went to get my medicinal card from Sweet Leaf.
And a bong. And a song about bananas. Bananas and bongs. And bongs. Oh, I hope you like to sing this song about bananas and bongs. And bongs. And bongs.
Big old schlong. We got them.
I don't know, man. Bananas and bongs. Coming to those geodes are motherfucking amazing. I love bananas. Settle down. Craig, get me a geode. Jason's fantastic. I just chopped up a banana in my Rice Krispies. Okay, that seems a little violent. Missy says, love you, Dad. Maybe that was my son watching.
Okay.
Which is awesome.
Love you, Daddy.
Beautiful, guys. Everybody likes it. They're clapping along.
Yeah, I bet they will.
They're like, we're going to keep doing the hook, huh, guys?
I know.
No, I'm going to eat it from a marketplace.
Bongs. I feel like bongs.
I always like to try and find like a word that in no way goes along with it. Like it goes along with the story, but it doesn't go along with the beat, and then we'll just see where we go. You know,
that was great.
I always like how does Eddie Vedder be like, take a word and then make it like 4 octaves of a word. And I'm like, and I put a banana in my face at the marketplace in outer space. Let's race.
That's what makes him good. That's bad. That's why we're doing this.
That's why we're doing this, and he's playing a ukulele in a whatever.
Guys, thanks for joining along with us tonight.
I've had fun.
We don't quite know what we're doing, but I feel like we're doing it well.
If there's anybody doing nothing well, it's us doing.
We're doing something.
It's us doing everything
well. Thank you. You're right. All right, guys. Follow us on all of our social media because that matters.
Yeah, you guys. We got a little taste of Twitch tonight, so that's pretty cool.
Just be a part of the group. We're giving you an option to be a better human. So
one quick thing.
Yeah.
Thanks for helping us raise $3,000.
Yeah,
Steve, you're the man. You spearheaded it in no time. You're the man. All right, but I also want to say that some Hoosiers also contributed to Brian McKenna.
Oh, for sure.
And that was pretty cool. We put it out there. Brian's helped out with stuff that we've done with Brian Kessler with the Vibe Tribe. And even though he's been battling cancer all this time, like he's always putting himself on the back burner to make sure somebody else is taken care of. And so it just speaks to who he is and the circles that he's affected positively.
For sure.
But I'm in 3 days. Well, really, in the first day, in the first 24 hours, over $100,000 were raised.
Unbelievable.
In 3 days, like $148,000 and some change.
Unbelievable.
Were raised for Brian McKenna, and I just think that's fucking awesome, man. I think he's a great dude.
Unbelievable.
And we didn't get into our topic about people being good and people being bad, and the answer is yes. The answer is yes.
You're right.
But what the difference is, it doesn't matter what we're born. Because being good and being bad, they're all just reflections of small choices. And so the more and more we're able to get present and more present with ourselves, the more and more we're able to steer our moral compass in a direction where we are of sound mind and with a plan going forward. And we can say, am I doing this for good? Am I doing this for the right reasons? And are there other reasons that maybe don't make it so good? And let's weigh those out and then make that decision.
Then go with my gut or
the
something.
more and more
like
we can narrow the scope onto the right now, the more and more we can be invested in all of the choices that we're making, which ultimately decides whether we're good or bad.
And you people can do anything. Look at what we're doing. So join along, start your own thing. We're with you 100%.
Join along. And while you're at it, enjoy those bananas and bongs.
You got the end logos on there?
Oh my God. In the Hoosier Show.